I could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around, but
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, what's going on, people? How you doing? Sorry, I'm a little late tonight. I was finishing up the show. It ran a little over for me where I'm at. So I wanted to just make sure I saw everything before I logged on to check you guys out. Hopefully everybody's doing awesome. Before we get started, per usual, if you guys can see me, you can hear me, and everything is gravy, go ahead and give me those ones in the chat. I see the ones popping up. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Guys, no surprises tonight. No surprises. It's pretty much the end of the season, end of an era, if you will. That was it. So we went through. It's pretty much what I predicted it was going to happen. Like it was going to just be the Garrison's passing, the morning episode, and then the funeral episode, and then they just wrapped it all up. And I think that is a fitting end to this particular season. They, for the most part, if I'm going to be honest, I think that TLC did a good job with the handling of not only Garrison's passing, but the tasteful way that they did the funeral. I thought that was a really nice cap to in that storyline, to conclude that storyline. Like I think that was just the way to go. Let me just get over here real quick. Okay. Yeah, but for the most part, I mean, there were a couple points that I'll talk about or touch on, and then I'll open up the floor for everybody to come on in and give their perspective on the episode. The one thing that I will say that I thought was kind of cool, first and foremost, I'm going to give Christine a lot of credit. I'm giving Christine a lot of credit. Yeah, let's put some hearts in the chat for Garrison, Big G's. He will be missed. It was like I said, it was a touching service. But I think that there's a couple things that I want to note. Like one of the big things that I wanted to note was something that was never really broached on the show before or acknowledged on the show before, but I think that it carries a lot of weight. When Christine was talking about Big G's passing and how it affected Janelle in that particular instance, she said, we're all moms here and we all, consider ourselves to be moms, but Janelle is his mother. And I think that that's an important distinction to make, because I understand that it's easy to get wrapped up and wound up into the whole, nobody's a mom because we're all equals and we're all the same and everything is everything and we all knew them and we all raised them. I appreciate the fact that Christine, the person who probably spent the most time with him as a caregiver, acknowledged that, Janelle's loss is deeper to an extent than her loss. And this is not to say that Christine's loss by any means is less than or slight or insignificant. I think that Christine, Mary, I think that their loss is huge. Even Cody to a degree. I think their loss is huge. The reconciliation of trying to deal with that loss is a huge ordeal. But I think that there is something special that has to be said, or at least acknowledged, about Janelle's particular loss. And I also respect the fact that when Janelle was out talking about Garrison, we had that moment of seeing grief in full 4K display. because she's there talking to Christine 1 minute and then she's reminded of something, and that's how it works. Like that's how it happens. Like you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, and all of a sudden something comes up, boom, you're right back in it. And then the one thing that, like I said before in one of my previous videos, with Janelle, the one thing that has me worried to a degree is she has a propensity to try to shove stuff down. Like she wants to purvey this image of stoicism. And I think it has its place. Like I'm not going to bash her for that, because I mean everybody handles things the way they handle them. But the only thing I would be concerned about is if you're trying to create scenarios where you're trying to make yourself busy so you don't have to face the pain or your circumstances, and you're using that as a distraction, a couple things are going to happen. Sooner or later, it's not going to work anymore. And then it's going to hit you. It's going to hit you hard regardless. Like it's all relative, I guess. But it could be bad. So I don't want her to cry or put herself on display for my benefit, because I don't need to see it. Right? It's not for me. Right? But I just want her to like I said previously, just be okay with not being okay. It's fine. Like she was there and she was apologizing, and I get that. I do get it. I get it. I totally get it. But she was there apologizing for feeling the way she was and breaking down. Like, and at that moment, I was thinking to myself, like, you never have to apologize for crying for your lost son. Full stop. You never have to apologize for that. That's not something where you are, it's a deficit of your character if you feel the loss of your child. Like that's not a thing where somebody can look at you and say, "Oh, she's a terrible person because look at her showing this emotion." No, it's a completely natural experience, and I give her a lot of credit. Like I give all of them a lot of credit for sharing these moments with the audience, because for a lot of us, we have affection for a lot of these characters, but we don't really know these characters. So by rights, we don't have an expectation to be a part of these services, right? Yeah, you understand what I'm saying. Like we shouldn't have an expectation that they gotta include us because we've been watching the show since forever. But it's nice to be considered. I appreciate them considering us. I appreciate them allowing us to participate in these last moments before they put their child to rest, because that's their time. That's there for them to grieve. There were a few notable moments. I don't know if I want to talk about those who shall not be named, but I mean, to talk about the brighter side, I was really touched with Hunter's speech. Hunter had talked about how his Hunter went to like Garrison. Garrison got to do it the hard way. Some mugs just got to ice skate uphill. You know what I mean? Garrison went in the hard way. He went in enlisted, right? So he signed up, went in buck private, and did his time that way. Hunter went in a lot different. He went in to I think he went to he went to the Air Force Academy. And when you graduate from the Air Force Academy, you graduate an officer, right? As a first lieutenant. So when he comes out, he said that the hat that he put into the ground was actually the hat that he was wearing, because Garrison was the first person to salute him as a superior officer, as a lieutenant. And so he put that hat in the ground. And then, of course, Peyton, he put his dog tags in the ground with Big G, and he was wearing Big G's dog tags. And I thought that was very touching. I thought that there was I sympathized with Janelle, because you could see she was struggling, but she was trying to put on a strong face. Even with Leon was there in the house. I thought that a lot of it was just very touching. Like I thought a lot of the commemorative items that they were putting into the ground, the speeches that they were giving were very touching. Uh, Maddie's a bulldog. She got back to the house and she started talking about like she called him Cody. She called her dad Cody. Wow. Says a lot. Says a lot. We've come a long way with Miss Madison. But the one thing I will say about her and what she had to say is she had revealed that she was willing to talk to them. And if she said, if I did something to offend you guys, I don't have nothing against you, no ill will. And if I did something to offend you, just tell me what I did. I'll apologize. And what that tells me is she was talking to Leon at the time, and there was one other person I forget. But what that tells me is that they're willing to talk to you. So that door is still open, at least at that time. The doorway was still open for you to be able to have that relationship with your children, or at least these particular kids. I don't know about the other ones because I don't know where they are because Hunter hasn't said anything. Peyton hasn't said anything, not to my knowledge. So Gabe and they haven't said anything. So I don't know where they are in this process. But Madison sounded like she was willing to at least have the conversation with him. And I think that upon the loss, and I appreciate the brother-in-law who said during the services that as a parent or as a loved one, as a family member, you should want to have these type of relationships so that when your time comes and it's time for them to put you in the ground, you can look around the plot or the burial site and you can see familiar faces that will close you out. And as it stands right now, so much of it with him, the dad, is all about the dad. Like it's a couple words that I hear. Me, my, I, mine. And it just it's so striking to hear these come from him when he's out there to bury his son. And I understand it's to a degree it is about him and it's about what he's trying to do. But at the same time, it just is striking because so much of it, as he was presenting his portion of this three-part series, has all been about him. This is where I grew up. This is what I went through. This is what I was doing. These are memories I have. I could, his brother and his brother-in-law came out to help him dig the hole. I could have did this by myself. I didn't need you guys to do it, but thank you for coming out and spending time with me and being my company. Like, it's just, I understand that he also had a loss. Like, I don't want to play that down. I respect the fact that he has a loss too, and he's trying to deal with it. But it's like so much of what went wrong with the family. Like, it just seems that there's so much attention from him paying attention to what his needs, his desires, things that he wants and things that he craves, that everybody else gets ignored. Everybody else's desires gets ignored. Everybody else's needs gets ignored. Oh, you're sad because your brother passed? Well, you're not as sad as I am because I was the first one to hold him. Things like that. Like, it's just, like, I get it. Like, I was the first one to hold my kids, And I got teased tonight because I've said that plenty of times. I was the first one to hold you. Hey, I used to tell my kids, like, hey, just so you know, I was the first one to hold you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a point of pride. It is a point of pride, and I get that. But at the same time, when you have other children who are in need, allow yourself to be there for your kids. Allow yourself to be there for, as that helping hand, that assistance for them, because even though you can, like, I guess my twist on this is, how much you're struggling with it. Imagine how much they're struggling with it. Like, he's only focused on how bad it is for him. and he's not taking into any consideration how bad is this for these young folks. As Hunter said, he was my bunkmate. Like we slept together, we grew up together. This is the guy who for a lot of years was my world. Like that's how these kids, they grew up in such close proximity to one another. That's how they felt about each other. So for adults and parents, we've had life before our kids. For our kids, their siblings, for the most part, are their history. That's their life, and to lose somebody, especially that young, can be, life altering, because this person has been around, for all the things that they've ever remembered. This person has been around for it or been part of it. So, I mean, I think that that's something that I would hope that he would consider. Um, yeah, it was just rough. It was like I said, it's a what's this? Uh well, like I said, I think that there's a lot of it that was interesting. I thought that it was a well done episode. Next week, we'll be getting into the long short of it with the tell all. Still a little disappointed they filmed the tell all so early, or at least didn't give the ladies and the other folks an opportunity to see what they were going to say. Like you already know what your season is going to look like. You could have gave them the release cut of the episodes and let them, comment on those episodes, and or, you know, they kind of know where they are for the season. I think that would have been worthwhile. But in fairness, like I want to make it very clear what the distinction was between last week and this week. Because if I was loosely paying attention to what we talked about last week, last week gave the dastardly duo, the unnamed pair, we gave them a hard way to go because they were, treating it like a family vacation and da da da, and we was giving them a hard time. And this week, Janelle and her brood, along with Christine and her brood, went down to go fishing. And to be honest with you, one of the first things I thought about was when they were in camping and Hunter was flipping out because Crowbrows, Mary, and Cody were sitting around and he was trying to get the breakfast done so that he can go fishing. And they sitting around putting on makeup, chit-chatting, wasting daylight. So I know that Janelle and her kids are about that fishing life. And I think that the very subtle difference between last week's thing, like if you look at it on the surface, it seems like it's the same thing. They did something fun. Cody and his family did something fun. I think the significant difference for me is that it wasn't like, as Christine explained, it wasn't about the fishing. It was about the community. It was about the bonding. It was about the opportunity for them to celebrate with each other. Not only the passing of Big G, but to celebrate each other and to be around each other and to fellowship with one another and to find that bond. Like this is also part of the grieving process. So I think that that is a big part of it. But even this week, we had a little bit of uh the Kremlin talking about, this is where I grew up and this is, trying to do like the tour guide stuff for his kids. So I think that it's a little bit of a different scenario. I think it's different. Um yeah, with the digging of the grave, there was that point where he was digging a grave out. Um I'll say this, Utah must be way different Because where I'm at, I've never been in a place where I've heard that you could like the Gravedigger Union, they serious. They serious up my way. You can't go there and plant a damn flower. You can't put a spade in the ground and plant a flower, Jack. They're dead ass. Like nothing gets dug up in there unless a union member is standing there with you. So, I think it was I don't have a like I'm just weird about this. Like I think that with regard to um Garrison's being buried by his dad, I mean, that's not my call. That's not up to me. Like even if I had a particular ill feeling towards it, it's really up to to the family. I won't even say it's just up to Janelle, but I'm saying it's up to the family. Like whatever the family decides to do, if they're fine with it, then I have to be fine with it. It's not my choice. It's not my decision. It's not my place to tell them that they did it wrong. Because, I will give Janelle a lot of credit in this particular situation because even though we can make the argument, yeah, that's Cody's son too. At the end of the day, Cody wasn't talking to him at the time. And it would be easy. Let's be very clear. Let's be very, very, very clear. We have to give Janelle a tremendous amount of credit because it was incredibly mature and it was incredibly kind of her to allow Cody to be a participant and to become a main focus or a main focal point within that service because of the fact that Cody was not talking to Big G when he passed. She recognized because of her maturity. And again, I'm crediting Janelle with maturity here. She recognized that you know, Cody is a parent and she made the adult decision to say, you know what, I'm going to allow him to be a part of this particular service. And I give her a lot of credit because sometimes you'll be mad about things and you'll make decisions based on how you feel at the time. And later on down the line, you may feel regret about those things. Like, for instance, if right now you're pissed off at Cody because of everything that he did and how he treated Big G's and Gabe and everything else, his conduct throughout the whole thing, and you're angry with him, how he treated you, how he, did the land, how he did the money, whatever the case may be. And say at some point, 5 years, 6 years from now, they are able to mend those fences and get back together. That would be something that she took from him that can never be given back. So she did the very mature thing of allowing him to participate in the burying of his son. And I think I think she should be commended for that because it would have been very easy for her to block him out, to box him out of that. And I'm not saying it would have been right. I'm just saying it would have been very easy for her to do it. So as long as we're gonna sit here and we're gonna call it what it is, um, we'll call it what it is. We got to be honest about it because there are plenty of people, maybe even some people in this chat who, if they were in Janelle's shoes, there's a few people who wouldn't have been at the funeral. And again, this goes back to right and wrong doesn't make a difference. It goes back to what could happen and what could not happen. Just because that's your child, that doesn't automatically mean you have every right to do what it is you want to do. I'm going to bury my son. No, you're not. Not today. You'll be having your own little private service with old girl and your kids, So you got to give her credit for that. Like you can't pretend like he had every it was ordained that he had every right. He did. It just is what it is. Um uh yeah, I just like I said, I think it's hold on one second. Yeah. So, like I said, I mean that's pretty much where it is. I what is this? That's my shoe. What's going on? That's my shoe. I haven't seen in a bit. How you been? $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Uh Cody's gonna Cody, right? My belief is that none of those kids will ever deal with his shit in the future. He lost way more than Big G's with Garrison. Unfortunately, some things I agree to the point that some things have to happen, okay, in order for those bridges to be mend. Like in order for them to mend those bridges, in order for them to heal those relationships, some things have to happen in order for those things to take place. And the way things are now, I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening because it's like so much of it strikes me as like Cody just has to get out of his own way. You understand what I mean? Like there are some points where you just kind of sabotage yourself. Like you're so willing to lay into your own pain and not focus on how anything affects anybody else because it affected you, that you can block people from actually being included. And he, of course, could make the excuse that, well, I've had the times when I trusted them and they hurt my feelings because they didn't follow the COVID protocols. But again, if that's what we're talking about, because that's what he said, before somebody jump on here and say, well, we don't know what happened behind the cameras. That's what he said it was. He said that he don't speak to his kids because of the COVID protocols and because they didn't respect his rules. And at the end of the day, that's a dumbass reason not to talk to your kids. I'm going to go on record and saying that straight up. That's a dumbass reason for you not to talk to your kids because they didn't separate themselves and isolate themselves and keep themselves apart from one another on some stuff that doesn't make any medical sense. Just because you said it doesn't make any medical sense. I also have a male appendage. And I'm saying with my male appendage, because apparently that's what makes us so smart, me and Cody, we're geniuses because we have an expression of our Y chromosome in a physical form. That's what makes us smart. And I'm telling you, as a person with one of those appendages, that what he said as far as the COVID protocols was stupid. It was stupid. It was a dumbass rule. I'm going to go over each person's house and become the super spreader. And in that way, if anybody gets sick and they die, it's my fault. That's not keeping your family safe. That's absolutely not keeping your family safe. So what he was doing was he was isolating his family because he had a family member who didn't feel comfortable being around everybody else, and they didn't want everybody else to get together. And so that's what splintered your family. And because they didn't do what you said or what you ordered or what you decreed, that all of a sudden they're not worthy of those relationships, or because they don't value the people that you value. You're telling me, and if somebody comes on here and makes an excuse for this, I also want you to acknowledge that if Cody had a disagreement with Caleb, that all of a sudden Maddie should turn her back on her father. That it would be okay for Maddie to turn her back on her father because he doesn't get along with her husband. Or if Aspen husband Mitch didn't get along with Christine, then all of a sudden it'd be completely fine for Aspen to turn her back on her mom. Because if y'all don't get love, if my wife didn't get along with my dad, I can still have a relationship with my dad. You just don't you don't have to come. I'm still gonna call him. I'm not gonna not call my father because you don't like him. Oh well. Oh well. And it is what it is. Like, these are your kids. And if you're gonna make the argument that they have to like her and respect her, you have to give them something to fucking respect. Let's put it where the goats can get it. If you want somebody, if she wanted those kids to respect her, you have to give them something to respect. It's not enough for you just to sit there and say, I'm your mother, I'm your father. You have to respect me because I hold this role or this title. In Robin's case, it's a title. It's a position that you have because you married into the family. It's a title that you have. You're not their mom. You know, I mean, I'm saying this as an outsider. I'm saying this as an outsider. Somebody who's not a polygamist, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, if you want somebody, I've always held it. If I want my kids to respect me, it's not enough for me just to make children and then they'll automatically respect me. That's, to me, that's as dumb as somebody saying that they're going to go out and have children because they want somebody to keep them company. If I have a child, I'll never be alone. That's not your child's responsibility. Your child's responsibility and purpose in life is not to make sure that you're not lonely. That's not their job. If you want your kid to respect you, you have to be somebody worth respecting. You have to be somebody whom, when they look at you, you are worthy of their respect. You're worthy of that relationship. And if she didn't prove to them over all these years that she's worthy of that relationship, and we've seen time and time again, you can't say that, oh, well, it must be that these kids are just so disrespectful. No, because they respect Christine. Mary was in the house. She was down at the lake. She was talking to the kids. They respected her. Some of them said they had problems with Mary, but they respected her. So you telling me that one of the wives is so great, so wonderful, so grand, so generous, so kind, and so beautiful, and so shy, that she's all these things, and these kids couldn't find, not one of these kids could find it in their heart or find a place where they respect it. Look, if you're the kind of person where one person calls you a jerk, maybe that person's a jerk. But if 15, I'm sorry, how many kids is it? It's 14 children, 13 kids. If 13 kids plus their parents can look at you and say, you're an asshole, guess what, sweetheart? It's probably you. It's probably true. You're probably an asshole. That's just the way it is. You have to work on you. You're not, obviously you're not doing something. Whatever you're doing is not translating to them. It's not working. So you got to figure it out. And we can sit here, look, the proof is in the pudding, baby. The proof is in the pudding. I don't know what happened behind the scenes. What I do know is that 13 people don't like our ass. What I do know is another 3 people, so that's 16 people, don't like her. And it's not because they're just jealous because I was in love with Robin and I didn't love their mothers. That's not why. Sorry, sweet cheeks. That ain't why. That's not why. That's not the reason. They might have been bitter about it. They might have been mad about it. What they might be mad about is because all the money all of a sudden is starting to disappear. What they could be mad about is that sitting there time after time, week after week, night after night. And here's the funny thing about it. The same way somebody could sit here and say, well, we don't know what was going on behind the cameras when we talk about why people was at the funeral and everything else. We could also say that we don't know what was going on behind the cameras when they were spending that Monet. We don't know how the money was being divided. What I do know is people was coming up short. What I do know is that Janelle's kids are pissed off about that money. So we're supposed to take that the kids are somehow mistaken. The kids who are living in the house and they know what they had on their plates. They know what they were wearing on their backs. They know where they were staying and they know what their houses look like. They know what the other kids were wearing. They know what the other kids were eating. They know what the other kids were doing for vacations. They know what it all is. But somehow we know better because we watched the show. I'm just saying, these are some of the pieces that I'm putting together as to why I feel the way I do about the Notorious 2. Why I feel the way I do about the Notorious 2. Ugh. Sometimes it just comes out. You just rhyme in time like it's no thing. It is what it is. It is what it is. So like I said, with all that going on and all that kind of packed in and baked into the cake, we have to take into account that there is a certain kindness that Janelle offered or extended to Cody and his brood by allowing them to participate in the service. I understand, and trust me when I say this. I'm an avid uh uh vocal person for fathers' rights. Trust me when I say that. I'm the guy who, when I talk to guys and they say, look, I'm having a problem. My baby mama is crazy as hell. She'll never let me see them kids. Then what you need to do is take your ass down there to court and start filing paperwork. That's what you need to do. You need to fight her for them kids the way you will fight her for a paycheck or for money, or if she inherited, like she had a lottery ticket sitting over there, you would just accept the fact she said, yeah, I know we went down to the 7-Eleven, we bought the Piggly Wiggly, and we bought the ticket together, but I'm not going to give you your half of the money. You would be on her lawn with hammers drawn. You be on her lawn with hammers drawn. Let's be honest. But when she just tell you, she tell you in passing, yeah, I like to come pick the kids up this weekend. I don't know, maybe not. Oh, see, I'll never get to see them. Oh, well. Bump that shit. You fight for your kids. And I'm a big fan of that. But see, at the same time, I'm also saying that if the same way you have a right to be there to bury your children, you have a responsibility to be there for your kids when they need you because they're burying their damn brother. How about that? How about that? The one thing I didn't see, and maybe I wish TLC would show it. The one thing I didn't see, I saw each one of them kids come up, but what I didn't see was Cody acknowledge any of them kids who were putting stuff into that grave. I didn't see one time where Cody walked over to Hunter was breaking down. Hunter was breaking down, putting that hat into the grave. Cody didn't reach out for his son. He didn't say shit to his son. He watched his son do it. He watched him walk away. But I'm supposed to sit there and be like, oh, well, Cody, he's going through a lot too. He is going through a lot, but you can't, you have no compassion for your children. Your kids are in there too. This isn't just affecting you. This is that main character. What do kids call it? Main character syndrome. It's Gen Z. Good job. Well done on that one. Main character syndrome. Like this dude, no matter what he does, it's all about him. A lot of people gonna start throwing out. Watch just gonna pop in. Somebody gonna call him a narcissist. And I'm not gonna necessarily disagree. I'm just saying that it's extremely frustrating when you see people there's sometimes where you're like, okay, well, he's a bit of a narcissist, he's self-absorbed, or whatever you want to say about it. Clinically, we can't say he's a narcissist because we can't put the diagnosis on him, but we can say he's self-absorbed. Okay, that's fine. And in some instances, some professions, some careers, that will propel you to the top of your field with that type of mentality. However, if we're going to call it all the way a stack, we're going to call it all the way a buck, and we're going to be completely honest with ourselves, it becomes extremely tiring in these particular types of settings where people have these types of losses. It becomes tremendously troubling when all you can do is focus on yourself, when you have other people around you who are hurting. And the ironic part about it is, what makes funerals so powerful and so important is that it's not just the opportunity for you to celebrate a person's life, which is what I'm kind of in the same boat as Betty. Like I said the same thing historically. Like if when I pass, I want it to be a party. I don't want people sitting around talking about Jesus going around crawling in the casket with them all. I don't need no company, okay? I'm one of them dudes. I'm gonna go up to heaven. I'm gonna be trying to slide up in there. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need nobody with me. Because your badness might rub off on me. Maybe Peter was going to look at it. He was looking at the book. He was like, all right, James, well, and he ready, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Just don't tell nobody that I let you slide. I might be on one of them tips, okay? Because Lord's still working on me. I'm just going to be honest. He's still working on a player. All right, I am not a complete... I'm not a finished product, okay? I'm still getting worked on. I'm still up on the left, and they still turning wrenches on my ass. So I don't need no company. So no, I don't want you crawling in the casket with me and going up to heaven with me. Nope. Because he might be like, look, I was gonna let you in there, but since you with your friend, I'm gonna have to put y'all on the elevator, the express. You know what I mean? Nope. But I do want people to celebrate me, remember me, have a good time, laugh, tell some cool stories, maybe meet a new friend. That would be a celebration to me. Some people come to my stuff, and one group of people who I was hanging out with was cool, and I was hanging out with another group of people, but these two groups never met. But at my funeral, these two groups of people say, "Hey, you do that? Oh yeah, you cool, man. All right, okay, let me get your number." And they start hanging out. To me, that's cool. That's a celebration of me. What I would also think is that when you have these type of gatherings, it's also an opportunity for you to share your experiences with people who have similar or like experiences with the person that you're mourning, and that helps you to tell those stories about the person that you've lost. This is an assistant part of the grieving process. You're grieving with help, and I think that that's a big deal. And so it's not just about like him being there for his kids, but allowing, and this is the big part of it, allowing his kids to be there for him. How about that? He's denying his children the opportunity to help him, because by helping him, he's allowing them to help themselves. And he's denying them that. Guys, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I don't want to be like that guy, but I'm just saying, like, this is one of the things that some of the stuff that I think about when I'm watching him up there with the kids and stuff. And I get it. Like, maybe you don't want to get too involved because you're like, if I get too involved, then I'm going to break down and I'm going to be useless for the rest of the day. So you kind of pull back. I get it. Not everybody grieves the same. I get it. But I'm just saying, these are some of the things that if I'm sitting there with him, and I noticed that when he talks, he likes to philosophize about a lot of stuff. He likes to, I'm thinking of the theory, and it's like a boat that's riding in the ocean, and all of a sudden some water comes in, and you look down, and your feet are wet. And then you say to yourself, "Oh my goodness, my feet are wet. And I feel the electricity in the air." Like that kind of stuff. If you want to have those kind of thoughts, you need somebody who's going to hold you accountable, somebody who's going to tell you the truth. Bro, let your family in. Let your family in. Heal those relationships. Get past them. And half the time, most of the stuff that you think is such a big deal, like now, you're going to realize was dumb as hell to be arguing about. And it's certainly stupid as hell, because if something happens, these kids are on their way back, but you're going to, oh, I'm not talking to Madison because she's such an ass. She's so mean. She's so nasty. She don't talk to me. She don't let me do this. She don't let me do that. I'm not going to talk to her. But as soon as, if that car that she was riding in went into a damn ditch and something would have happened to her, what you going to be at the funeral demanding to be the one burying? I'm going to bury her too. Oh, and the first one to hold it. And you want to tell those stories? Don't tell those stories. Tell the stories about how when you guys had complications or difficulties, you were able to get back together. Tell those stories. How about that? Just saying. Just saying. But thank you so much. That's my shoe. It's good seeing you. Missed you, my shoe. I don't assume that people are trying to hang out all the time. I just like to see folks, or at least it's actually so much like I do like seeing folks hanging out, but just knowing people are cool and everything is, it's still everything is everything. But thank you thank you so much. That's my shoe. Tripping myself up. I'm getting emotional, my shoe. That's my shoe. All right. Then we have Kathy Ferran in the house. Once again, super sticker, $3 super sticker. Thank you so much, Kathy. Kathy be in there, boy. Kathy be all around the down. She be in there. She be in there first sometimes. And Kathy be in there like 6 o'clock. Hammering and stuff. Like, hey, y'all in the house. Kathy's no joke. Give Kathy a little something. Then we have unlimited lipstick, $6.99 super chat. Excellent point, James. Thank you so much. Those are your kids. Nothing should stop you from speaking to them, especially not trivial things like like them not liking Robin. Yeah, you're not gonna tell me I don't give a shit. Like, I'm one of them people. Like, if I got a problem, thank you so much, unlimited lipstick, because that's a point too. I'm one of those people, and I'm one of those folks. Like, My mom, she got to pass that down to me. We can hold grudges, okay? I hold grudges like grudges got handles. Okay, I can let them go and I can get past a lot of stuff. But if you get on my bad side, I can hold a grudge. Okay, like I'm one of them people. Like I'm very particular about where I spend my money or whatever. If I show up to your place and you do something to disrespect me, you will never see me do. I'll never come by and buy another thing out of your place. I have a rule, just James rule. If I'm ever like I've never been put out of somebody's house. People have threatened me with that once or twice before. Like when I was a young person, oh, you need to get up out of here. If you ever put me out of your house, I will never pass your doorstep again. I don't give a shit. We could mend our friendship, our relationship, and be cool again after that. But I'll never walk into your house ever again. Never again. Like I'm maybe that's petty. But I don't give a shit though. That's just me. Okay, that's how I roll. If you put me out of your house, I will never come into your house ever again. I'll never again. Well, I'll darken your doorstep. I might ring your bell, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I've never been really put out. But if you put me out, I'm not coming back. Like so, and I've told that to people like, well, you need to just go then. Like, trust me when I'm telling you this, and I'm not saying this lightly. I'm telling you that if I leave, you tell me to go and I leave, I'll never don't call me up and be like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that's cool. Okay, yeah, we cool. No problem. Okay, so you want to come back around? Nope. Never again. So yeah, I can hold a damn grudge. And I'm just saying that when it comes to things like, little small stuff that issues that he has with Robin, I can hold a grudge. But if I have a problem with somebody, I have a problem with them. And this is where I think we talked about Janelle having a certain level of maturity by looking past all the issues and problems and difficulties she was having with Cody and allowing him to participate in his son's too funeral, which is very important. And again, hats off to her. Good woman right there. She recognizes she's very mature. That's exactly what she should have done. I think she's 100% right. But with that being said, the mature thing on the flip side of it is Robin being the mature one should have insisted that Cody, look, I understand. I appreciate you looking out for me and trying to be on my side and trying to, hold things down for me. I appreciate you. But you don't worry about me. You need to build a relationship with your kids. And it would be, if I was in Robin's shoes, it would horrify me if my wife had kids and she said that they do something or she asked them to do something, they didn't do it, and she said, that's it, I'm cutting you off, and she cut them off. That would horrify me because we also have kids together. I would be scared because that tells me that if my kids do something, if something happens to me and my kids do something, you're going to cut their asses off too. Because I don't think I'm any more special or any more wonderful than anybody else. So I fully expect you going to treat me just like you treat everybody else. So if you could do that to them, then you'll do that to mine. And that's where I would be like, no, what we're not going to do is you're not just going to cut these kids off. Because at that point, I would like to say that I'm defending the children if I'm in Crowbrow's position. But actually, I am, but I'm not. I'm also talking about my children. If you do this to my kids, I will never forgive your ass. And again, we get back to me holding grudges. Okay, we get back to me holding grudges like a hat with handles, Jack. Because that I will be mad. I will be mad because I would be concerned about that. I would genuinely be concerned about that if I was in Robin's shoes. Like, okay, yeah, it's all gravy now because you're all infatuated with her, so you're cool with her kids. But what happens? Something happens in that relationship. You cutting her kids off? That's where that would bother me. Like all of a sudden you're not with these women anymore and bump their kids. That would bother me. You know, I need somebody who's gonna be as, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when I was looking for a mate or a partner, that was one of the traits or values that I was looking for in somebody who I was going to spend time with, be with, invest in, and eventually have children with. I want somebody who's going, like, if I was dating somebody, like, I never understood the whole thing with Cody. I didn't want to date nobody with a children. I had an ick factor. Ugh, ugh. Look, if you date somebody with kids, and I see a woman and she's working to make sure she takes care of her kids, and she does her level best to provide for her children. Like, you don't have to be crazy with it. Like, you don't eat nothing. You walking around here wispy, about to blow down the street like a kite because you don't feed yourself, because you fattening up your children. No. But if you're willing to miss a meal for them, oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I could work with that. Because I know that when you're so committed, you're so dedicated to your children, if I give you my children, you're going to be just as dedicated to my kids as you are to these kids that you had previously. You're going to make sure my kids are good, because I'm not saying I'm going anywhere, but I know that, like, if I walk out of this house today, right after we finish up tonight, if I go out, I'm like, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm gonna go get me a Coke, right? And I jump in my car, and a Mack truck come along and smash me all over the highway, put me up in a tree somewhere, then my kids are good. My kids are gonna be good. There's gonna be some tears, I'm sure. Like, that's just how she rolled. But there's gonna be some tears, but my kids will be fine. You understand what I mean? And that is more important to me than anything else. So if I'm looking for a mate, if I'm in Robbie's shoes, that would scare the shit out of me if I'm watching a man not talk to his kids because they wouldn't listen to him. These grown ass kids, like, these ain't even like little 5-year-olds, like little badass 5-year-olds, just baby kid type, what you looking at? Like, it's not like that. These are grown ass kids. You're not talking to adults. You couldn't make adults do what you want them to do. So you pissed off. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't turn my back on my children just on something like that. I don't know. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's more to it. We just not saying it. I'm just saying, like, it's crazy to me. Couldn't do it. And I couldn't be with somebody who was that easy for him. Like, if you were in a situation where you had to cut your kids off, like you had to, for your own mental health, your own well-being, or whatever the case may be, something came up and that's what you had to do. If you did it, and I could see it wasn't something you took lightly, or it's something that pains you greatly to have had to have done. Like, you're not happy with it, you're not proud of it, you're not walking around like, yeah, I told them kids, bump, you don't come around. It's crushing you, it's breaking your heart. You get a pass. I'll give you a pass on that. But what they talking about, like, these kids are still heartbroken about losing him. But he's too bullheaded to see it. So thank you so much, Unlimited Lipstick. She's like, I keeps the lipstick flowing. It's on fleek. Thank you so much. I do not run out of lipstick. Next up, we got Jennifer Devine. Okay, Jennifer Devine with the $9.99 super chat. He had to narrate the episode because no one would talk to him. Yeah, right. Yeah, you know what drove me crazy? I'm glad you said something, Jennifer. What drove me crazy is not only was he narrating it, but then when Crobbins came in and she wanted to talk, she basically did the dummy do interview. So you wanted to bury him? Yeah, I wanted to bury him. Like, we already heard this story, by the way. Yeah, I wanted to bury him. So that was, like, important to you, right? Yeah, that was really important to me. So it was something that you really wanted to do because it was of some significance. Yeah, I know you basically just said the same thing twice, but I'm gonna agree to it like it's deeper now. Like, what the shit? Like, if y'all don't shut the fuck up, like, I'm part of my friends. I'm cussing like crazy, but if you don't stop. Okay, this is why we struggle to like you. Because you're trying to pretend like you're like she's all of a sudden trying to audition for Suki's job. I can ask questions too. You gotta ask good questions. Okay, stop doing these setup questions. I'm going to just make sure that they fully understand why you're doing what you're doing. I understand. He wants to bury his son. I get it. I don't need you to. I don't need you to walk me through it. I understand the importance of that. Okay. Like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm being unfair with them. But then I think about what they did, and I say, "Nah, you're right on point." No, I'm just joking. It's just I don't know. It's just so much of it. It's just at a point now where it's just frustrating. Like they're never going to. No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Crabrows and the Dastardly Duo will ever get a fair shake. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. So, but yeah, that was crazy, Jennifer. let me explain to you guys. First, I took the shovels. And why you come out there with all them short handle ass shovels? I had at least one or two long boys, long flathead shovels. I mean, to transfer the dirt at least, like you use the short ones, maybe. I still probably have a long one, spade, so I could move it, break it out, and then use the transfer shovel to move it. And that also has the flat head, so that way it's broader. And you just, make them nice little tight squares that you like. But I don't know. I don't know. Once again, I'm not an expert because our people up here, they serious. They will not let you dig. Yeah, I was hoping I could come out there and dig a hole. Not in this cemetery. If you want to dig a hole, you got to do that in your backyard because some grave diggers are serious. Yeah, they catch you out there doing that, they might put you in a hole. Okay. And they usually they don't show up by themselves. They usually have 2-3 guys with them. They keep the money flowing. But yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer. Appreciate you. Yeah, that was crazy to me. That was crazy to me. And like I said, the whole thing with Robin. Oh, yeah. Tell us about your experiences here on the farm. What was that like? It was pretty much a farm experience. We was riding horses, doing farm stuff, riding ranch work. That's what we did. Did you ride cowboy style as opposed to English style of riding? Did you do that? How did you ride? Did you ride horses or was it ATVs? We couldn't afford no ATVs. Okay. That's wonderful. How did that make you feel? And when you buried him, how did you feel? Like, come on now. It's terrible. That's how I felt. It's freaking terrible. We don't have to, you don't have to explain that to us. And I don't know. I'm really trying not to be a jerk. And to be honest with you, guess what, guys? Now that we're past the big G's portion of it, we're gonna, it's gonna get back to business on these folks. Okay, the kitchen is open, right? Because I feel the need to cook some folks. Some people gonna get cooked, but so we'll see about that. And again, I don't want to beat them up. Part of the reason why I've been taking it easy on the dynamic duo is because I want to respect their loss. I want to respect the fact that this is a very painful time for them. Like, I just don't want to go in on them just to be going in on them. But y'all ain't making it easy. Y'all really not. You're really not. You're not doing me or yourselves favors. I'm trying to be cool, but you just keep slap me in the face. Like, come on, man, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? A man can only take so much. Oh, but thank you so much, Jennifer Devine. Woo-wee. Appreciate it. All right. Then we have let me get ready to put this link up. Victoria Perry, $2 super chat. You keep saying those names. I know. I was just trying to give them a little air tonight because I'm this is me trying to be respectful, Victoria. I'm trying to be respectful because I don't want to call him cue ball and the man with no name and baldy locks and thinner. I mean thinner. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to be good. I told did I say I was trying to get into heaven? I said I was trying to go, didn't I? You know what I mean? I'd rather walk to heaven and be on the coach ride to hell, you know. I'm just saying, like I'm trying to be good. But dude is like, he's killing me. He is killing me. And I think part of it too is it's just it's not because I understand that people are going to mourn the way that they mourn. It's just that there's there's a certain level of hypocrisy that is rife in this situation. And it makes it so difficult. Like it's very difficult when you're standing there acknowledging that you lost your child at a time when it was a dumbass reason why you weren't talking to him. The problems that you had weren't significant enough for you not to talk to him, and you should have been talking to him. But you sat there being mad, and you sat in your corner, and you did the things you did. You said the things you said, and you let that time go. He's gone now, and you have other children that you could be, are in the same situation that you were in before. The same situation. If something were to happen to them, it's still a dumbass reason why you're not talking to them. So why not take that, wake up at that alarm bell? You got a wake up call, sit your ass up on the side of the bed, pick the phone up, answer the call, and recognize your situation. So for me, it just comes off a little hypocritical. I can't talk about how I need to change and I wish that things were different. And then you have, 12 independent opportunities to make things different, and you aren't taking any of those opportunities. I even say I'm in the camp where it's not enough. Don't just make peace with the 12 children, right? Who are here because you missed the opportunity with one of them. Because even though you might say that the OG 13 will always be the OG 13, one of them is no longer in a position where you have a chance to reconcile that relationship. The other 12 you do. And use that as an example of why it's so important that you try. That's all I'm saying. And I'm of the mind, and this is coming from a guy who holds grudges. Okay. I'm not saying I'm not coming into this situation with clean hands. I'm telling you, I hold grudges, but I do recognize the importance of these types of relationships and the importance of you making sure that you not only respect your children, but you respect your children's mothers. These women, whether you like them or not, your relationship worked out or not, respect them as your kid's mom. You know who did that tonight? Janelle. That's what I'm talking about. Janelle, they sat there and said, we still got problems. Me and Janelle. Crumbum Kremlin said, we still got problems. We still got issues. Janelle admitted, we still got issues. As much as many problems I have with him right now, he's his father. And I am going to include him. Not just because of the respect I have for my son, but an appreciation for this man who gave me the gift of my son. That shoe goes on the other foot too. Okay? You don't have to respect. You don't have to, Janelle's my best friend. She's going to come back and she's going to be my lover again. She's going to start kicking in money again. Bump all that. She gave you kids. That's enough. She gave you children. That's enough. Respect her. And imagine a world where you actually did the right thing by her. That would have been a huge step. If he would have showed up and he'd have had the paperwork, Cody pass in hand, or whatever the case may be. At that time, he'd have had that paperwork in hand and said, look, we need to just get this done. I want to give you guys everything that you're deserving of. And I just want to heal these relationships. I'm tired. And at that point, like, this is what I'm about to say. This is what I'm saying. Aren't you tired of fucking fighting? Aren't you tired? I would be like going through what they went through. I would be tired of fighting. I'm done. I'm laying my bruised armor down. I'm laying down my weapons and I'm done fighting. I can't keep going. I can't keep doing this. So whatever I need to do to make peace. You know who else did that? The maturity thing? Christine. Why y'all always celebrating Christine? She's too. Look, because what she did was she gave up Cowdy Pass, something she absolutely positively did not have to do. Christine was under zero legal obligation to give up her rights to Cowdy Pass. Full fucking stop. She didn't have to give up one pebble, one stick, one dirt mop, one Cowdy poop. She didn't have to give up anything on Cowdy Pass. She could have just sat back on Cowdy Pass, put her fingers behind her head, and said, look, if they foreclose on it, they foreclose on it. I don't care. I'm not giving you nothing. But when you sell it, you're going to give me my cut. How about that? Like she could have easily did that. We need to pay the property off, Christine. You think you're going to be able to come in and kick in some money? Nope. 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 But what you're gonna do is you're gonna give me 25% of my or 33 and a third of that 5-acre lot where the pond was. That's what you're gonna do. She could have easily did that. But she said, you know what? I just don't want the trouble. I'm tired of fighting with you. I'm tired of arguing with you. I'm tired of struggling with you. I want peace. And when I give you this land, I'm buying something. You know what I'm buying? I'm buying my peace. I'm buying my peace. I understood why she did it. I'm not saying like again, grudges. Hey, grudges. but I understand why she did it because she wanted peace. And it's easy for me to say grudges because I'm not the one fighting and struggling with this dude and his wife and their kids. I'm not in the trenches. So I get why she did it. I get why she did it. $10, you got it. Transfer here you go. $20, take it off to keep the change. Thank you. Tip. You know, I just don't want to deal with it no more. I understand why she did it. But I'm looking at them and I'm saying, you know, I'm just saying that after everything they went through as a family, losing a integral member of that said family, I would be tired of fighting. I would be dog tired of fighting. I can't keep fighting you. Like it's too much. Like and that's the one thing, like you know, my family had always said, like my mom and dad, when we were coming up, that was like a big thing. Making sure we had peace in the house. That was huge. Making sure you had peace in the house. You fight people in the street. In the street, you do what you got to do to survive. You fight, you cut, you scrape. And if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Like you do whatever you got to do, right? Survive out there. But when you come home, that's your place of peace. That's your place of respite. That's the place where you find solace, calm, quiet. That's the place you rest, recharge, so that you can once again armor back up and go out and fight that good fight, which is life. Okay? And when you're dealing with this kind of thing, even though they're not in your household anymore, that's your family. I'm not going to keep fighting you guys. Okay. I just want there to be peace. I want us to be able to get together for the holidays. I want us, and it is from Cody's respect. Don't you want to see your grandkids grow up? I understand you got Robin's kid. You know, I got Crab House kids. Hi Hat Hagula. I got her children. And that's so great. I went to get a girl, like her ears pierced, bought her first thing of makeup. Isn't she like 26? Yes. She's talking about going on her first date, and I'm a driver. You know, that kind of stuff. It's weird to me because actually, one of the weird things about that particular situation, you're so worried about her kids. It's almost like, in absence of your grandkids, you're starting to treat Crowbrow's oldest kids like they were the age of your grandkids, because a lot of the stuff that we've been watching them do, think about it, for the last 2 seasons, getting ears pierced, going to get baptized, These are things that you would do with Madison's children. These are things that you would be doing with them. You understand what I mean? Getting ears pierced. That's something that Madison's daughter would be doing. Getting her ears pierced right about now. You know, getting baptized. That'd be something that like the babies would be doing. So, I mean, don't be a weirdo. Just saying. Just saying. But thank you so much, Victoria Perry. Victoria Perry's like, don't say their names. I know. I'm cutting them a check this week, I guess. You know. Yeah, TLC is probably like, yeah, we're gonna bring them out. And I keep watching them like, y'all show gonna be dry as a damn sand sandwich. Okay, this show is gonna be terrible. If this is what you're gonna be doing, that show like zero charisma. It has zero pull, zero draw. Because they can't, like, Cody can't stop talking about himself, the curly Q cowboy. Oh, this is where I went and got my thing, and this is my philosophy on life, and me, my self. You know, it's just, it's gonna be a rough watch, Jack. But thank you so much, Victoria. Oh, Lizzie B. Lizzie B gifted one My Take on Reality memberships. Thank you so much, Lizzie. I will be dropping 2 videos tomorrow. I got my first one. It'll be about it's going to be split. It's going to be a relationship video, interpersonal relationship video, and a professional video talking about HR. Guys, HR. Yeah, not your friends. And we're going to talk about it in my video tomorrow for a Monday motivation, because last week I didn't drop a Monday motivation members video. So I'm going to drop that tomorrow. And then you guys will be able to watch it on Wednesday. And then I'm going to drop another video. And then you guys will probably be able to watch that one on Thursday. All right. And I got a bunch of stuff coming out. Poly Family coming out. I got 90 Day Fiance coming out. I got Love After Lockup coming out. Of course, I'm going to be talking about Old Girl and the Sister Wives. Woo! So, yeah, it's going to be a busy week for me. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the challenge. Plus, I think I'm trying to develop a system where I'll be able to give you guys a schedule as to when I'll be releasing what on what day and what's coming out, so that way everybody's apprised of it. So I'm very excited about that part. But let me give Lizzie B a little something. I appreciate you, Lizzie B. Yeah, let me drop this into the chat. All right, and we got a 45 minutes. I'm gonna try to round this out, because I do go kind of long. So I gotta start cutting this off about 2 hours. So what I want to ask is that when you guys call in, give me like maybe 1 or 2 issues, and then I have to jump to the next caller, so that way I can get as many people in as possible, and give everybody a chance. Because sometimes it can be a little, I thought about it, it can be a little daunting for people who might want to call in if they have to wait a long time. Because I've had people call in and then they drop out, you know, whether it's because they got to get up and go to work the next day or whatever the case may be. But we'll get it done. So here's the link. Let's get some message. There we go. It's at the top. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Big G's. Remember Big G's, and for most definitely for Janelle, because like I said, you know, Janelle, well, you know, let's give little love to try to be a big, strong man, be a mature man. Let's give a little love to Garrison's dad too. You know, he lost some folks, and to the other mothers, because they've also lost some people. This is a hard thing, you know. This is a hard topic. It's a hard discussion, and it's a hard reality for the family and for everybody who cared about this young man. And for him to be gone, you know, it's real for them. And I appreciate the fact that, for a lot of us, we might think about Big G's, and I'm not trying to diminish anybody's feelings towards them, but for people who are intimately close with him, this is a huge thing. This will rock you. So, Kathy Ferran, she's going to the Calgon. Calgon taking her away. You have a good night, Kathy. He said, Calgon, take me away. But some of y'all gonna remember that commercial. Others, you're too young. Calgon, take me away. They used to have a commercial where the people getting the bubbles get super relaxed. And Calgon is the bubble bath solution, the soap that you'll use for the bubble baths. All right, I think I'm 100% and we are up. All right, let me just make sure my thing is going so I can hear you when you call in. All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. Betty Aldridge, what's going on?
Oh, hey, my sweetheart. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. How's life treating you?
Oh, girl. I had some crazy ass shit happen, but I'm not going to go into it because I'm in a hurry. Because, only me. I talk too much. And I strained my jaw last week. I'm like, what the hell? Only me. But, that's a different story. But two things because I'll hurry because, my asshole gets sidetracked. And to everybody in the chat, I love them so much. Y'all are my peoples. But with Janelle, I can understand her giving grace because it's so heavy, especially at that particular time, no matter her personal feelings, to carry that anger and the hurt can be overwhelming. And she has more children that even with Cody, like she said, she doesn't get along with him anymore. But
Right.
at that moment, I can understand why she would give him that little bit of grace, just because you have to let go of that anger at some point. Like you can come back to the anger, but at that moment, it's more important to just for your children to show that grace, no matter what. But now, Robin, if I could smack a hoe, I don't want to get you demonetized, but if I could smack a bitch, I would shake her and say, "Are you in there? Are you?" And she was one. And when I was watching, it seemed like right after Cody put the dirt in, she literally took a pinch. She was right behind it, putting a pinch, like a little pinch of dirt, and then did her little fingers. Ooh, like I'm surprised she didn't have some fucking wet wipes. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon my language, y'all. If I offend you, I apologize. But it was like, really? And then I love that TLC proves she flat out lied. Oh, Garrison's our passenger. Really? Because Cody literally said he did not have the ashes.
Right.
So
yeah, I wasn't sure if he didn't have them with him or.
Oh, I don't believe he had them with him.
Yeah.
If he did, where did he put him in the wheel well?
I don't know.
Where
Maybe
did he put
he
him?
left him at the hotel.
Yeah, but I mean, like where?
Weird.
Like I think that TLC is kind of like snarking on him, like, "Hey, we gonna prove this bitch lied."
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
if I offend anybody by my language tonight, I apologize. But this is me being very nice with the language. But yeah, and then when Madison said Cody, not my father, not dad. Oh my God! If any of my children call me by my name, Betty, I would be so heartbroken. And when my husband says my name, I'm like, "Excuse you, who the hell are you talking to?" Like he hasn't. We've been married 40 years, and rarely does he use my name. I'm like, "Excuse you, who the hell are you talking to? Don't you call me by my name?" Right? Like, girl, I will smack somebody. Like, but my heart broke for Janelle.
Yeah.
And but I was so like for them to turn that. Cody didn't even talk about Garrison, and oh, we're riding up into the sunset, and I'm watching the sunset, and with the chairs. I mean, that was production. Really, you're sitting in chairs in an empty hole. What the hell?
Yeah.
What are you looking at? And then that like digging the hole. Oh, let me get down. Now, I mean, my brother-in-law did like my sister-in-law was buried in a Muslim, and he was in the hole. Like we couldn't attend as females, like, but that's a different kind of tradition thing. My husband did, and he was telling me about it, but like he was actually in the hole, but that's different. But I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? You're sitting out here in chairs, looking at sunset, talking about that, but you literally just dug a hole.
Right. Right.
What you looking at? And you're not even talking about Garrison. Like, really? Like, I just wanted to. If I could shake that man and smack him, I'd smack all them little curls out of his head. Sorry, I'm being ugly tonight, and I don't mean to be, but I could just smack that. And then Robin just with that little pinch, and then that poor horse, they're all on, both of them riding on that horse. Let me hold on to this, I'll fall off. That poor horse. And I do not get the point of him riding a horse like, oh, watch me. I'm riding a horse. I'm
Right.
riding a horsey. Like, what in the hell did that have to do with Garrison at all? Like, I don't get it. Like, really? You're showing Cody riding a fucking horse. What does that have to do with this episode of Garrison at all?
Right.
Maybe you understand because I don't.
No. Well, I mean, like I said, a lot of the stuff they did, I think, is just his way of being on the show without actually having to talk about or do anything to be on the show. Because it doesn't, like, this is the kind of stuff where it doesn't cost them anything to do this. Like, it's not painful. It doesn't hurt at all. It's an easy conversation. It's safe. So
I wonder if he even truly, I wonder if he even feels. I know he talks about it and his son and the tears come, but I truly wonder if he's capable. And this part is really serious. Does he even have the capacity to feel that loss? Or is it just something that he's able to compartmentalize? Like, okay, yeah, I had this kid. This kid's no longer here, but I'll just move to the next one. Like,
Right.
It seems like he doesn't have the capacity. He compartmentalizes and doesn't have the capacity to truly feel. Like, to allow that hurt and what he should feel, or maybe what we feel he should feel.
Right.
I don't think he's ever, he talks about it, and yeah, he has a picture of Garrison, but he talks about himself more than he talks and what he's lost.
Right.
As far,
Right. Yeah,
but
that's what
not
I'm
about.
saying.
But in terms of his loss, it's not like the loss of this child. It's like, oh, we've lost a chance that he could apologize to me.
Right.
Is how it feels. Like, oh, he gave up the chance to make things right. He gave up a chance to make my life better.
Right.
And I've
But
met
we'll be
people
back.
like that in life, and it's like, what the hell? Like like I said, if my children ever called me Betty, I'd be looking like, excuse the hell out of me. Who the hell you think you talking to? Like, don't you call me that. I'm your mama. And I'll be grandmama. But before I go, I would like to say, please say prayers for the people who's been affected by tornadoes. My friend's going to drive me down to Mississippi next week. And then my daughter and I are going to go do volunteer work. So God help me and say a prayer for me, because my old ass is going to be hard struggling, be like, but we're going to go do it. So, because I have a like one of them portable, what do you call them? Shit, I don't know what the hell you call them. It's like a propane tank.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, oh God, no. I wish I had a girl. If I had a camper, my ass would not be home. But I'd be on the road. Now I have a propane like fish fryer kind of thing where you can deep fry. So I'm gonna take my pot and my fish fry thing and some propane, and we're gonna go hit up. There's parts of Mississippi and parts of Arkansas that got hit, and St. Louis that got hit
Mm.
huge by tornadoes this week. I think y'all have probably seen it.
Right.
And
Right.
so please say prayers for them. So we're gonna go. Like we just discussed it tonight right before I talked to you. So I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna bring my stuff and we're gonna go and I'm gonna do a big old pot of gumbo because I can do a huge pot of gumbo and go to the Dollar Tree because that'd be cheap and I can get
Mm.
spoons and bowls. But while it's not very much, it's something I know how to do because I'm not about to go out there and try to do a chainsaw. Girl, I'd be losing limbs if I try a chainsaw. But now, if I see a baby raccoon, don't think I won't be trying to bring one home. I be like,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Look, that's what my husband said. I'm like, well, because like, that baby raccoon looks like it needs a home. But I won't keep you because I know you got a lot of people trying to call in, baby. Love your
All
channel.
right.
I love you so much, sweetheart.
All right. Love
And
you too. You take it easy
I love
and
all
stay
your
safe.
people. Oh yeah, you know I will, because I got a baseball bat.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Look,
Watch
I
some
can always take
tornadoes.
that baseball bat with me. And when we go down there, I'll be taking my baseball bat because some of them people don't have power and be like, "Come on, swing, bada bada bada, swing."
All
All right, I love you, baby.
right. You take it easy. Be safe.
You too, baby. Night
All
night.
right. All right. Awesome. And we have Negla coming up next. Negla, what's going on?
Hey, people will not believe this, but literally, Mama Betty and myself had about an hour and a half long conversation, and this was before these show, like this Tonight Show, even came on. I promise you, she is the same energy, okay? And I love her. I love her. I love me some Mama Betty. I'm like, we literally want to hook, like, in real life, not real life, but you get what I'm saying. And, in
Right.
person, kind of meet or what have you. And she's not far from me. And she, when
Okay.
she makes her journey, she literally passes by me. So I don't know. I'm a little scared. I don't know. I might need company.
Good time will be had by all.
No. Good time will be had by all. I just wanted to just throw in there real quick. I do really I think Janelle has been the shining star, and she was the shining star this episode.
Mhm.
So, and I know last week, yes, I talked about my daughter's father who passed away when I was pregnant with her. However, my eldest child, my son, his father passed away in a car accident where the first car hit him but did not stop, and then four other cars actually stopped because literally he was flying in the air and he bounced. And I remember we that night we went up there to the hospital. I mean, it was kind of like in the ambulance. They were like, no, he's not gonna make it. However, the reason why I'm saying this is because and it wasn't just because it was that moment, but in that moment, also my son has a sister. So I'm sorry, he had he had a daughter that's my son's, and you know what? And she'd strike you unalived if you tried to say that I wasn't her mom too, or what have you. But they were both there. We were all there, kind of gathered in the room with his body and things like that. And no, it's a little weird, but my son is the only one that had a DNA test and all that stuff. So the people in the hospital were talking to my child as opposed to talking to, the daughter or whatever. But either way, I tried to minimize myself and let them be there. I just wanted to be there. So if you need to break down crying, you still have a parent there. You still have this person there or whatever. Again, Robert is like a third nipple. I don't need 3. I only need 2 because you know what I mean. I got 3 healthy babies. Okay, I didn't need 3.
Right.
I didn't need 3 nipples. I only needed, I only need 1 working. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And that's kind of the way that I feel about her. She tries to insert herself into every single situation, and she's like, "Oh, I'm there to support my husband." You can be there and support your husband. At the eldest child at that very same homegoing, what we did was we rented out because I worked for the city, so I was able to get a nice little deal on renting out not the park but the little shelter space, and so we did a balloon release for him because he was cremated, and it was really, really nice. First of all, didn't nobody know that until I just said it, but but the other thing is, my husband came, but he sat in the back. People didn't know who he was. They didn't know. It was like, who is this strange white man sitting in the back? I mean, they didn't know who he was. He didn't insert himself into any and everything until maybe my son, brought people. Well, I mean, they knew me and they knew my son. My son is a spitting image of his father. When I tell you they're twins, they're twins. But my point is, I get it that it's plural family, and I'm the spouse, or she's my spouse, and you have to accept her. No, bitch. Oh Lord, between me and Miss Betty, we're gonna have no money tonight. No, I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
You're not. You were never a parent to that child. You let him stay in your trailer and come in the house and use the bathroom sometimes, and then kicked him out because you said he wasn't following the rules for your other kids that you cared more about than him. Oh, my bad. Am I wrong?
No. Well, I mean, I think that there's a point where you just recognize that you have a position to play. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to always be on the center stage. You can support them just by being there.
And she should have played second fiddle. She like Mama Betty said, that little sprinkle that she had to throw in. You don't get the. I would have been done redug him. I would have dug him back up and buried him somewhere else. That's a negligent, petty thing. I don't know. But, and you know what, and for some reason I can hear not Brittany saying she would have done the same thing. but I haven't seen her tonight. But that's just a petty thing. But it's about Garrison. It's not about you. It's not about, and yes, it is about Lord Fauntleroy. I will, you know what, and I will say the name, Lord, he who shall not be named. Cody Brown did lose a child. I am not taking that away from that man. I'm really not. But I need Cody Brown to separate from Lord Fauntleroy. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I never liked him. I never liked him in the beginning, and he got worse the more and more Robert came around. But when I saw the pictures of him, like with the kids, like he had one of them on his back, and he was like, yeah, I used to take Garrison on my, like work trips. I think it was Garrison. Was it Garrison or Payton? Maybe, I don't remember. It was like a couple of the kids. Like he would take the kids on the work trips and things like that. That's who they knew as daddy. You need to get back to that, because, and I promise you, in this life, look, I just turned 48. I have more years behind me, I promise you, than I do ahead of me. And that's why I tell people I'm not arguing with you, because you are not going to be the reason. An argument with you is not going to be the reason why St. Peter says, oh, but you know what, Negla? You did it all right until, and first of all, I never did. We washed it away in the sea of forgiveness until, you had an argument with James and pissed him off. and he never forgave. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let
Right.
that keep me. And I think that's what Lord Fauntleroy really needs to recognize and understand. It should be a wake up call for him. He's got a total of, well, he claims 18. He claims 18, so 17. So he's still got 17 more chances.
Right.
Do you get what I'm
Right.
saying? And I don't mean chances. I just mean 17 more opportunities to where, from what I can tell, only really 4 of them like you, and the youngest 2 don't give a. Or no, yeah, the youngest 2 don't give a rat's so and so.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Nah, I
They
feel
really
you.
don't.
I feel you.
So anyway, all right, dear. We're not gonna go till 2 a.m. But anyway, James, please have and my take family, please have a blessed week. I love you guys, and again, if anyone is struggling, please call 988. And if you needed anybody to talk to or anything like that, please call, reach out. There's nothing ever so bad in this life that can't be, you know what I mean, that you can't move through and you can't work through. And it's always darkest before the dawn. So,
I appreciate that.
yep. All righty.
And
All
you,
right, dear.
yeah. Have a good night.
You too, James. Bye bye.
All right. Bye. Awesomeness. Yeah, that's important. Coming to the stage next, we have Tanya Carter.
Hey James.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Good, good. So I just wanted to say real quick, I'm listening to everybody and I watched the show tonight and a couple times I was telling my husband I looked at Cody and I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. But he genuinely was hurting over Garrison's death.
Mm,
And I I don't know how much he could regret or what's in his faculties to understand regret, but I really, really felt like he was choked up and hurting. And the thing that I see with Cody, if he were with the right woman, which the
mm,
OG3 were, but if he were with the right woman, if Robin were a better person, I think that he could actually be okay. Because a couple times I said to my husband tonight, Cody could almost redeem himself and his character on this show if he weren't with Robin. Because every
right.
time I started to kind of feel sorry for him, then I would see Robin and be like, "Oh hell no!"
Yeah, I
But
forgot. You're right.
you know,
I forgot that one. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
and it's like my
I know what
mom
you're saying.
always says, the man is the head of the house, but the woman is the neck that turns that head,
Right.
and that's
Right.
Robin. Like the whole. Oh, I talked to McKelty, and he seemed like that was a really good conversation, and almost like they could have been on a path to healing. And then Robin's like, "Well, that was a confrontation." If she's been
Yeah.
doing this to him and like constantly telling him how to think about his kids and his family, he can never get back to where he wants to be with them.
Right. Right. Well, because even in that conversation, I think it was Aspen. I know what you're talking about. I think it was Aspen he had met with.
Hmm.
But in that conversation, it actually reminds me of 2 people with a text message. Like text messages, and this is why I'm like, if you have a problem with somebody, you're better off picking up the phone and calling them, going to see them, or even now with technology, FaceTiming them. Because when you read the message, it's interpreted how you feel about it. You know what I mean? So if you're in a
Right.
good mood, then what you're reading is like, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, man, we just chilling. Everything is cool." But if you're in a bad mood, it's like, "Hey, man, we chilling. Everything is cool." Suck, like you know what I mean? It becomes
True.
hyper aggressive. And what Robin does to him, the highbrow honey,
I know I
what
keep saying their
she
names.
what she does to him is she colors his conversations. Like I feel like she colors his conversations. So he comes like, "Oh yeah, she had mentioned to me, like she asked me a question and it really affected me and it hurt my feelings because she had said to me, 'Dad, how come you don't like me?' Oh, that sounds aggressive. Sounds
Hmm.
that's a confrontation. That's not communication." And
Right.
then all of a sudden, it puts it in a if you trust that person giving you that observation or that advice, now all of a sudden it sounds like, yeah, I guess you might be right. Maybe she was trying to punk me out. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
becomes a whole different other thing. Where if you look at it with a temperance of love, like, wow, that's powerful that she would even like, because I'm saying, like, as a person, if one of my kids came to me and said, how come you don't like me? That would crush me.
Yeah,
What do
absolutely.
you mean I don't like you? What are you talking about? Like, as much as I sacrifice for your ass, like, but I mean, it's just, it would break my heart for them to say that. You don't. It's not that you don't care about me, you don't love me, you don't provide for me, but you don't like me. I mean, so you essentially don't care about, like, that would kill me.
Yeah.
So no, that would be that's not a confrontation. I appreciate the communication and giving me the opportunity to defend myself. How about that? You know,
Yeah, I feel like she feeds it. She feeds
right.
the disconnection and the discord
Hmm.
between him and his children because it doesn't serve her
Right.
for him to be
Right.
in harmony with his children.
Right. And it's the she's a Jody. Like like you'll have a situation where in this particular case, you have a group of guys who are getting along. Everybody is gelling and everybody's getting along. And then a young lady will come in, enter into that group, and she'll get to talking and plugging. And by the time she gets finished with everybody's mad at each other. Half the guys fist fighting out back, wrestling and rolling around in the dirt because like it just creates discord. And I think that part of being a partner is that you should try to provide, we talked a little bit about it earlier. You should be adding to somebody's peace,
Right.
not to the chaotic nature of life. I should be able to find peace and solace in you, not find another battle or person to argue with or another fight I gotta wage. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just what I for the first time tonight watching him, I was like, wow,
Hmm.
I don't like him, but I do see some pain there. And I
Mm,
do see where if he were with the right person, they could pull that out and say, hey, you need to do the right thing. What you're feeling is genuine. But she's never going to do that because it's not going to serve her.
right. Right. And to be honest with you, like that's one of the things, like even earlier on, what I was saying, I think that it's all in the partner that you pick
Right.
and the values that your partner would have. Because I would value a partner who values my relationships with my children. If that
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I want a partner who wants to, like, if I feel like the hell with them kids, I don't care about them. I want my partner to step up and be like, James, get it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dust your
Yeah. You
little
tripping.
feelings off, get it together, and go in there and talk to them children. You know what I mean? That's what I
Mm-hmm.
want. No,
Mm-hmm.
you being an ass, go in there and have a conversation with your children. This is ridiculous. We're not doing this. That's what I want. I don't want somebody who's going, yeah, you're right. They they didn't call you back right away. Who they think they are? I mean, just because you 25 and you got your own business or whatever, or you busy, got your own kids, your own life. They should have dropped everything and called you back because you they were. I don't need that as a partner. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that she could have, and that's where Robin, I think she so desperately tries to tell us that what kind of person she is, but unfortunately it doesn't translate to us
Mm-mm.
seeing her being that kind of person.
No.
Mm.
No, not at all. Not at all. And on a funny note, and then I'll let you
Oh,
go. So I was
I
watching
like
tonight. So
funny.
when he started digging out he's like, I'm gonna bury my son. And he starts digging and everything, and he's like, you got to get the solder and you got to put it on the tarp. And I got these two buckets, and then I looked over at my husband. I said, "Wow." For the first time in 19 seasons, I'm actually impressed that Cody knows how to do something.
Right. Yeah,
I'm like,
he
it
finally
kind of
got it
looks like he
done.
knows what he's doing.
Right. I was like, normally this would have been a complete disaster, but
Absolutely. Tore up that graveyard.
right. and it got chased off. But yeah, you're right. This what I didn't think about it, but you're right. This is actually the first time I was like, wow, he's actually doing a.
He
He not
kind of
only
knows what
is he
he's
doing a
doing.
good job, but he actually sounds competent.
Right.
Like it's not like I did it by luck. It actually sounds like he actually knows what he's talking about. So I was impressed with that. Yeah, I agree.
Same.
I agree.
Same. I was like, okay, I'll give you that one, Code. I'll give you that one.
All right. That's
But
just because
that's
they didn't have
it.
any trees out there. Now, if he
That's
had to cut
it.
a tree down,
He wouldn't have let that tree stand. No.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. I'll let you get on.
All right, thank you. Thanks for your speak pipes too. Excellent
Yeah, yeah. I'm
contributions.
probably still gonna
Appreciate
send one
those.
anyway.
That's all right. That's all right. Look forward to them.
All right.
All right. You have a great night. Tell your husband I said good evening.
Thank you. I will.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Awesomeness. Yeah, that's a good point. He apparently knows how to dig holes. Maybe that's maybe he's auditioning for his next chapter. After Sister Wives close, he's gonna be like the grave digger. Yeah. He forgot his gloves. That is true too. That was the first time that when his gloves actually would make sense. He had gloves like, okay, I'm about to do these dishes. But this would actually be a time when the gloves would actually make damn sense. Good point. Next up we got Christy. Christy in the house. What's going on, Christy?
Hey, James. Good to talk to you. Hi, everybody in the chat. First thing, really
Hello.
quick. First thing, really quick. If Betty and Negla do meet, we need an update on one of the shows. One of them need to call in because, well, if they're not in jail or whatever, hopefully we could bail them out if that happens. But I've got to hear how that time goes. And then the whole thing about Cody digging the grave. I'm laughing to myself because so many of these things that people have mentioned, I was thinking the same thing about the first time Cody knew what he was doing. And
Right.
prior to that, when he was getting his equipment ready, he was all excited saying, "Oh, well, I've spent the majority of my life working in the dirt." And his eyes kind of lit up like, this is the first time I actually know what I'm doing, and I'm excited because I get to show it off. And there's very little chance anything will go wrong, especially with two people here to supervise me. And the glove thing, exactly. He has 5,000 pairs of gloves. He brings a new one out each episode, but the one time he actually needed them, where are they?
Right.
How
And like I said, that would
ironic.
have made the most sense. That would have made the most sense.
Yeah,
Digging out there with them
yeah,
shovels, yeah, that would have made sense.
exactly. But that's Cody. And let's see, I had another thing about Garrison's ashes possibly not traveling in the car. Now, notice on the couch interview, which I don't know when that was filmed, but they made it look like it was after, or no, I guess it'd be prior to the fact because Cody said his ashes were in an urn, but Mitch had made something. He thought it was 8x8, but he hadn't seen it yet.
Right.
So it's like, uh, even if it's like you haven't seen it yet. I have my doubts, and I really hope that they traveled with someone else because these last few episodes have triggered so many things in my life, but I'm not going to get real deep with that. I'll go on a more lighthearted note. But about the ashes traveling, okay, I had a stepmother who was pretty much like a Robin, and I did not like her, but I mean, I kept my mouth shut when she'd make her snarky comments. I just tried to keep my distance from her, but that woman hated me, hated
Mhm.
me, and my kids and everything else hated me. Well, when she died, my dad was older than her and he wasn't in the greatest physical health. So after she was cremated, I had to pick her ashes up from the funeral home. But I also needed to run errands. I had to go to the grocery store for my dad. And it was also really hot that day. And so I put her ashes in the trunk of my car and I'm driving
Okay.
to the grocery store. And I was probably in there about 45 minutes. And I was thinking, she would be so upset if she knew she was riding around in my trunk, the person she hated more than anybody in the world, sitting in the hot sun while I did grocery shopping. And then I thought, wouldn't that be funny if somebody broke into my car while I was in there and stole stuff out of the trunk and didn't know what they were getting? But it didn't
Right.
happen. But so I just thought, yeah, Garrison wouldn't have liked riding with Robin anymore. But I mean, at least I I had to pick her up. But at least as much as I disliked her and I knew she hated me, I at least realized that that woman wouldn't want to ride with me, that I was her only choice. But it kind of
Mhm.
gave me some kind of sick satisfaction knowing that it would just horrify her if she knew that she was riding around with me in the trunk. And then kind of sick, but hey. And one last thought. A few weeks ago, I thought of this. When once Sister Wives show ends and Cody really doesn't have anything to fall back on where the others do,
Mhm.
I have the greatest idea for a business arrangement. He Janelle has all those trees to clear, and Cody is such a master lumberjack there. She should contract with Cody to clear her property because he's what cut down 1,000 trees in his life, and
Right.
maybe he can
Right.
put those gloves to use. So hey, Janelle might be able to save him.
Uh,
I just thought I'd throw
I
that
don't know
out
if she
there.
want him on their land though, getting hurt.
Well, maybe she does. You don't know. Accidents happen.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Okay. Well, those are just my weird these whole
Yeah.
episodes have put me in a weird state of mind because it's just brought up so much stuff, but I will let you go and get on to the next person and everybody have a good night.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you, Christy.
Uh-huh.
And these episodes have put us all in a weird mood, so it's fair. It's fair.
Okay, take care.
All right, have a great night. Hey, Chris. Say she was riding a stepmother around in the trunk. Yeah, I gotta tell you, when she started telling that story, I thought for sure that she was gonna say she put her stepmom in the back seat and the lid came off. And she blew around inside the car, blew all out the window. You're like, oh, we're gonna have to fill up this box with something because I can't show up to the funeral home with an empty box. That's more of a TV thing. Anybody when they do the cremations, they usually you'll get the urn and you'll have like a sealed bag. But yeah, people don't. Sometimes you won't be happy. You won't be happy. Let me Raiders Ma with the 4.99 super chat. A plan tools but no accessory. A plan tools but no accessories. Tell me production set it up without telling me production set it up, right? Right, they might have, you know what? I didn't even think about that Raiders mind. You might be right. They might actually had somebody walk him through what he needed to do and how he needed to do it. So he doesn't go out there and blow it. Like, you can't because that is something. Like, because like I said, up here, the Gravedigger Union is serious. Like them guys are dead ass. Like you are not digging nothing. So I can see TLC maybe sliding some bucks, but the grave digger will probably tell him like this is how he has to do it. he can't come in here and just start throwing shovels in the ground and then eating up dirt, because that side and stuff, they want that grass to look like it's perfect again. So yeah, you might be onto something. Raiders mom coming through with a 499 super chat and a damn good point. How about that? But she usually has good points. But true, I didn't think about it. Raider mom teaching me something tonight. But thank you so much. Let me give you a little something. Brava. Excellent point. I didn't think about that, but she might be right. Tell me the production had something to do with it, but don't tell me production had something to do with it. You know what I mean? Next up, we got Janet. Unlimited lipstick. What's going on, Janet?
Hey, James. I know I always ask this, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to say a couple of things. I'll try not to go too long, but this was a tough episode for me to watch, probably like a lot of people. My brother passed away in February, and he's just a
Oh,
couple years older than me, and
sorry to hear that. My condolences.
thank you. I appreciate you. He It was an accident, like, he's a fisherman and he drowned, so it's extra,
Mm,
unexpected, and I think, like, when I was watching the episode, I was like, "Oh, maybe it's too fresh, I don't know if I should watch the whole thing," so some of the stuff that was happening, like, I basically cried the whole episode, and I was very sad, obviously, for the family. I thought you made a really good point that, the fact we could watch this ceremony they were having is a privilege. It's not, we don't have a right to watch that if they didn't want to share it. But
mm,
however I feel about Cody, to lose a child, I can't imagine the pain that would come from that. And I'm sensitive to like what they're going through, but what was sad when I was watching it, on top of the fact that obviously it's sad, is like he still doesn't seem like he's talking to those estranged children. And
right.
like I think you guys have mentioned, like Hunter, am I getting that right? He was like really upset, and like Cody didn't reach out to him. I didn't see him reach out to Gabe or like Maddie or any of them. And like I don't know how you have something this tragic happen and still be so wrapped up in your own ego that you can't reach out to your children. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, none of us do, but uh
Mm,
it made me really sad. I was like, you obviously still haven't mended those relationships, or like you're the father. I know they're adults, but you're the father. And like
right.
I was confused by the funeral too, because like it seems like certain, not the funeral, I'm sorry, the burial, like that, it seemed like certain people were missing, and I wasn't sure if you guys might have some insight into like was Mary not there, and was McKelty not there? Like I said, I was crying through most of it, so I couldn't really, I don't know if I was
Oh,
just missing them, but what do you think?
Mary was there.
Oh, okay.
I thought I saw McKelty. I could be wrong. I know I saw Mary. Mary was there.
Oh, good. Okay.
Uh, yeah, even Leon was there.
Hmm.
Gwendolyn was there. I know Gwendolyn had a problem with filming being on the show, but she showed up for this.
Which is nice.
So
I'm so glad, because I really liked what Mary had to say. I was crying a lot when she was doing her interview and she was talking about Garrison, and
mm,
I must have just missed that she was there, and I was just kind of worried. I was like, is there a reason that she's not there? Does she think that because like some of the other children have problems with her? Like, did she not feel like she could go? So no, that made me feel better that you said that she was there. I just didn't happen to see her,
yeah.
but yeah, it's strange to me, like that you could be at like something like that and still not have reached out to your children. I don't get it. Like it's
Mm,
really, really weird. The behavior is strange. Like that's
right.
it's not worth it. Like what is worth it to like not even try? And maybe he has, but like I don't know. Like I get the impression that that he's still wrapped up in them like talking about him and not liking Robin and stuff. And it's weird.
Yeah, he just can't let. The feeling I get is that he just can't let go the fact that. Well, see, and this is where I think it gets a little strange, because I don't think it's just the fact that it's Robin, but if it's not Robin or uh the female version of she who shall not be named, but if it's not her, then he would have to acknowledge that it's him. So
Right.
it's easy to say I don't speak to my kids because of her. Is they don't like her and they're mad at her. That's why I don't speak to my kids. No, it's
Mhm.
you. They don't speak to you because
Absolutely.
of you.
Yep.
So, but you can't. Your ego is so fragile that you can't handle the fact that they don't speak to you because you understand what I mean.
Yeah,
And I think
totally.
that he might be there, and to try to reach out, he might be afraid of rejection. But
Yep. I think so
the hell
too.
with it.
Yeah,
If
like
you
at
get
some
rejected, you
point.
get rejected.
Yeah, those are your kids. And again, I don't know how to parent. I'm not saying there's nothing a child could do that would result in like you not speaking to them. Cause like I said in
Mm,
my super chat thing, and then I kind of thought about it after, and I was like, well, I don't have kids, and so I know there's certain like extreme circumstances where you have to sometimes have to cut them off, and like, you know, tough love. And I understand that there can be very specific situations where that might be appropriate, but there is no way that they like when you're talking about like okay just say like my dad doesn't get along with my wife or like it doesn't mean I have to not talk to my dad. And it's not like they're abusing Robin as much as she plays the victim. Those children, I don't think, like unless we're missing a big piece, which I feel would be featured on the show because it would be T, but like they haven't said abusive things to her. They haven't hit her. Like they haven't done something so horrible to her that he has to cut them off. Like you said, he's blaming
right,
her. He blames like the women in his life for basically any problems. Like first it was Christine's fault because the kids weren't talking to him because she was bad mouthing him. That in his mind, and it's like no, they made it really clear. No, it's not. It's not that we make up our own mind. We love Christine, but it's because she took care of us and you didn't. So
right,
they might be more likely to obviously like sympathize with her because they've dealt with the same treatment she got from Cody, being pushed aside, being treated as not as important, the favoritism and everything else. They experienced that. So yeah, they're gonna probably side with her, but he doesn't want to see that. And it's her
mm,
fault or it's because they don't like Robin. And it's like there's nothing that they could have said to Robin that would justify that in my opinion. Because it's like those are still your children. If they don't get along with your new wife, that happens a lot in families. I think that that's not that uncommon, but like they're not like throwing things at Robin and calling her like abusive language towards her. Like I think what she considered like terrible was she was on the phone and I think it was Garrison who
mm,
was like, "Can we have our dad back?" And it's like if that's bad, if you consider that bad, like you're not letting your children express themselves like you expect them to be perfect because that's a very reasonable thing to have. And then they admitted later that hey, like we were blaming Robin but it was you. And Garrison said that, and he
right,
said that very like articulately. He was like, he admitted, hey, we were blaming Robin because you were at her house all the time, and this is why. But now we realize it's not her. And you think that that would be a turning point. I feel like that could have been a turning point where Cody could have picked up on that and like been like, hey, I'm sorry that the miscommunication happened. You have a right to your feelings towards me. But Cody doesn't like if people have feelings towards him that aren't flattering or that are difficult. And it's like you have to accept people do not have to like everything you do. They're not going to. They're your children. There's no way your kids are going to agree with everything you do, especially once they're adults
right,
and they live their own life. And it was just sad because it's like he gave you the opportunity. That was like an open door to be like, "Hey, we were blaming Robin, but we see now that it was your rules and I don't like at first it was like apologize to Robin, then it was like, no, I said you don't have to apologize to Robin, blah, blah, blah. Like I just want us to have a conversation. But then he didn't have it. And it's like like why would the only thing he was focused on after that was they were blaming Robin. They were blaming Robin. And it's like, yes, they admitted that already and they told you that they were wrong. That it was your fault. And it's like,
right,
but he just kept going back to the piece about Robin. And that's why, like, people like Janelle and other people are like, she's perfect. She's your poor broken dove. And that, like, no matter what she does, she doesn't do anything wrong. And he doesn't say she does anything wrong. And perhaps that like as a grown woman who was a lot older than Garrison and Gabe and who are just fresh adults, like it would have been the mature thing because you were talking about Janelle's maturity, like it would have been a mature thing to be like, hey, like, it's not my rules, it's your dad rules, which I believe she did say, but then be like, let's have a conversation about this. Obviously, we all need to talk it out. You have a right to feel frustrated with your dad's decision and his rules. Acknowledge people's feelings. Like, it's not that hard, it really isn't. But she didn't have that maturity, and neither did Cody. It's almost like when you listen to his children, including Garrison, like, when they speak, they're just fresh adults, but they sound so much more mature than Cody and Robin, who can only focus on the fact that, like, that somebody made an assumption about them that was incorrect, and they, like, just can't let it go. It's like, grow the fuck up. Like, yes, you could be frustrated too, but, like, your children have a right to their feelings. And let's be honest, you're not making time for them. You're not
Right.
prioritizing them. And it's
Well,
they didn't want to say it.
well, because I think that in order for him to acknowledge, like even once they took the different position and said, "Oh, it's not Robin," we realize now it was you. It was
Mhm.
your rules. That means it's his fault, and
Right.
he is never going to admit that it's his fault.
No.
So when they, by them saying it was, no, it wasn't Robin, it was you. I'm agreeing with you because he initially said part of the reason why I have a problem with you guys is because you disagree with my rules
Mhm.
and things I was saying, and you blame Robin. He said, oh, okay, yeah, we don't blame Robin anymore. We blame you. Well, who do you think you're talking to? You can't blame me. I did nothing wrong. And so now he's sensitive about that. But he's going to rely on it being Robin's fault because that's a safe place. Because if it's
Mhm.
Robin's fault and they're mistaken, one, Robin's not at fault.
Right.
Two, it's not his fault, which is the most important thing. And
Mhm.
three, even if it is his fault, he did nothing wrong. So they're still being unreasonable and they're wrong. And that's, I think that's how he kind of rounds that square. Like he
Yeah.
just, it's all about avoidance of accountability. So it's not so much like the problem with that. I think the big problem with that whole conversation is that you're arguing a point that doesn't mean anything to him because it's not a real point. Have you
Mhm.
ever had that person that you're talking to and they have a problem with you, but they find some abstract ass reason to sit there and argue and fuss and fight with you.
Mhm.
So like you'll be maybe they don't like you because you were dating this guy that they like, but they can't say that they're mad at you for dating this guy. So now all of a sudden is, oh, you wearing the color yellow. You knew I was going to wear yellow. See, that's the problem. See, you don't respect me. And that's why you thought you could come out here wearing that yellow ass shirt. You know what I mean? And you guys are standing there arguing about the color yellow when that's not
Mhm.
why she's mad or that's not why that person's mad. They're mad
No.
because they're jealous about you dating that person that they can't admit. And I think that the whole thing with Cody talking about Robin and that whole COVID argument is he can't admit why he's actually mad.
Mhm.
You understand what? Because the point
Totally.
is, I think for him, the point is, how dare you question where I'm going? I like hanging out at her house. I
Mhm.
have every right to hang out at her house because it's what I want to do. And who are you to question me about going to hang out at her house? And clearly, he doesn't want to have that conversation because by the rules that they laid out, that's not what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
I mean, so now, oh, we're gonna argue about the COVID, and that's what I'm saying. Like the COVID rules are a dumbass reason for you to be this mad.
Yeah.
Still, you know what I mean? Like
Still.
you're burying a child, and you still talking about COVID. What?
Yeah. That's
It has nothing to
exactly.
do with COVID. You know what I
No.
mean?
And he brings it back to that, and it's like, you have the you everybody makes their choices. He says that a lot, and
Right.
I say that in my life a lot too. But one thing that I think is a big difference is, yes, everybody as adults makes their own choices. They do. But I don't think you should use that statement to remove any accountability that you might have. And the bottom line is, the favoritism is clear to anybody who watches the show, I would argue from like probably from day one, but like the favoritism
Right.
is reinforced. Like the more seasons that went on, the more like, especially during COVID, sure, that might have shone a light on it, but the favoritism is there. I think it would be very difficult for anybody, even if they love Cody and Robin, to deny that like the favoritism is there. He's admitting in like the upcoming tell-alls or whatever, well, it doesn't work if you fall in love, and I fell in love hard, and I hate how he says that. I was like, ugh, when he says hard, I'm just like, I barf.
Yeah,
And is that necessary? But
yeah.
like, but I just like, you're admitting it. Like you're admitting it by saying that. You're like, it doesn't work if you fall in love. You're basically saying the favoritism was there, and I think what he will probably end up denying, because he doesn't like accountability, which is sad for him,
Right.
really. But like, because you fell in love with her, you definitely showed her and her children favoritism over the rest of your family, your huge family. And you have to, the only way to start healing the relationships is, I think that he would have to admit that. And it actually isn't that hard. It's difficult to know that you did that. Again, I'm not a dad or a mom. I think it would be particularly difficult to admit that to yourself. But it's like, it's time to admit that because you fell in love, to take that next step, Cody, to take that next step forward. If you actually care about a relationship with the rest of your children, to follow that point down and say, I fell in love, and as much as I didn't want to admit it, I did show her favoritism because of that. And that
Right.
is, that the marriages fell apart, not because Christine finally got fed up, not because Janelle finally got fed up, not because Mary finally, like, absolutely, like the way he treated Mary is just like, whether you like Mary or not, like that, it's just horrible. Like I know the way he treated all of them is horrible, but the fact that he was so comfortable just being like, you're pushed to the side, you're nothing. I barely even consider Mary. I don't know what to do with Mary. Put her in a barndominium. Like actually treating her, she's his very first wife, quite loyal, and like, which is apparently very important to him, and that's how he treated his loyal wife that he didn't want anymore. He discarded her, and um when she finally got that release, that made him angry, but everything is about his ego. It's so sad. I know I repeat myself a lot, I think, because just like, it's the same points over and over again, but it's like, how do you not follow that down if you care about a relationship with your children? It's like, it's right there. You're so close, but
Mm,
there's no accountability, and that's why that part is missing. It's like, yo, you fell in
right.
love. I fell in love. It's not, again, it's not my fault. I fell in love. I fell in love. It's like, your choices are still your responsibility, though, Cody. Like, they're like, your feelings, sure. Like, I won't fault the fact that you fell in love and you never felt like that before. What you did every moment since then is your responsibility. The
I
choices you
agree.
made are still there, right? Mhm.
I agree. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to let you go, but I thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much
you
for
so much.
calling in.
And just like the last little thing I wanted to say is, what was up with calling him on the horse yummy? That was disgusting. I just wanted to put that out there. I know it's
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
else's turn, but that was wild. Thank you so much, James. I'll talk to you
Thank
soon.
you. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Awesome this. Yeah, yeah. It was a little jacked up. But I think that we'll see. I've got Alexandra coming up next. It should be the last call for the evening. But the one thing I will say about like the whole love thing, because we're gonna hear a lot about that in the upcoming tell all. I'm in love with her and I'm tired of backing around and sneaking around, pretend like I don't love her. I've said this from the beginning. I'm a grown ass man, dog. I've been around a long time. Okay. I've been around and I've seen some things. And I completely can handle the fact that Cody, they opened up their relationship. This is something they agreed to. And I'm actually going to talk about it during my poly family video. There's a lot of tie-ins to a lot of what we see on Sister Wives, as well as some of the other poly shows and alternative lifestyle shows that they put out. I did it, and then I want to redo it because I want to be a little more respectful of some of these alternative lifestyles. But there's a lot of tie-in with that. And I think that there's a part of the consequences of you opening your relationship up this way and agreeing to do it is that there is a possibility that your significant other will meet somebody that they connect with stronger than they connect with you. And you can't be mad when that happens. I can agree to shit all day. Logically, I can agree to things all day. But I can't control my feelings and how I feel about somebody. I'm not mad at Cody because he fell in love with Robin and he was all about her. I'm not mad at that. Where I think it becomes reprehensible and becomes bad behavior is when you don't have the courage and fortitude and just integrity to say to your current partners, this isn't working out. This is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. Have that integrity to be honest. Yeah, it's going to hurt them like hell to tell them that you don't want to be a part of a relationship anymore. But it's better to be honest with them and hurt them because you're being truthful than to sit around and continually cut them and cut them and cut them because you're trying to be dishonest. And not only are you being dishonest with what it is you're doing, but you're telling them that they're crazy because they see what it is you're doing. And that's where, like, all of a sudden, they're like, well, I see that he prefers her. He enjoy going over there and he likes hanging out with her. No, I don't. You just jealous. Jealousy is killing our relationship because you so crazy. I'm doing everything I need to do. I don't prefer anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy. And then maybe I'm crazy. He's denying it. Like, he's denying it. And he's so strong in his denial. Maybe it is me. And that's what he did to them. That's what makes it so cruel. That's what makes it so reprehensible to me. But I'll let somebody else go. Alexandra PF, what's going on? How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing, James?
Doing very well.
Good stuff. I was going to say this episode was, to show us the burial was very vulnerable of the family. So, for me, they get a lot of respect for that because I've, attended my share and I wouldn't have wanted them filmed. So, that's
Right.
big for them to do that. But I get that they're being paid to do it, but still, it's a very vulnerable moment. But having said that, for me, I pinpointed one thing about Christine that really aggravates me that she did this episode. Remember when she was telling us about how Janelle likes to fish, but she doesn't like to fish and blah, blah, blah. It's like,
Right.
we get it, Christine. You're sister wives, but you don't have to necessarily like everything that the next person likes. Like, it's in a way, it's almost like condescending to us. Like, we get it. You're two different people. You didn't even grow up together. You didn't have any common background. So why would we even think that you guys like the same things? Like, it's, I don't know. To me, it's like a schoolgirl way of looking at the world.
Right.
Like if
Well,
me and my
it's
best
so
friend.
weird. I agree with you. I think it's a weird place because to a degree, even though she did polygamy, in fairness, she
Mhm.
lived polygamy. But for a lot of the people who are watching the show, I feel like they may have had a better handle on what was actually going on in her relationship, polygamous relationship, even
Mhm.
from the experiences of being a monogamist. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people had better insight that, yeah, you're about to get screwed over. No, I'm not. He
Yeah.
said he's going to buy me a house. Girl, he ain't going to buy you nothing. He ain't
Yeah.
going to buy you a Tootsie Pop. Like, you
Yeah.
were in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I don't know. I think just the way they're raised in that kind of cult and in a closed community, like they don't have that level to mature. So, like, I remember being like 12, 13, and I went to kind of like a boarding school for people who are blind. And my roommates and something like, they'd be like, "Oh, I think this guy's cute," and it's like, "Oh God, no," And I think
mm,
someone else is cute, but it's like that teenager kind of mentality where like, "Oh, if you like something, I have to like it," or you feel that pressure, and it's just Christine gave me those kind of vibes of like, "Oh, if someone has an interest, I have to have the same interest," and she's like educating us that that's not the case. It's like, yeah, Christine, we get it. I don't know. It's just a level of immaturity that came across to me anyway. So I don't know. She does, and when they're talking heads, they're constantly having to describe things as if we've never seen the episode before or we've never met them before. It's like, yeah, we're 19 seasons in. We know Janelle
right,
likes
right.
fishing and you don't. Like, um, and the whole thing with the comment about Robin and Yummy and all that. That was really just so gross. Like, I was thinking, like, am I a prude for thinking this? But since Janet and other people in the chat have said it, it's like, okay, it's not just me. Um, it's just it's not necessary. All you can say is, yeah, I like him, or it showed me a side of his person that I didn't know. because
Mm,
in the first few seasons he came across as very like metro to them, and I guess when she saw him on the ranch, it was a different side of him. But it's like she's a grown woman telling producers, "Yeah, he was yummy." Like, ugh, gross.
yeah, yeah.
We,
Well, you know what? Because I think if you are you familiar with a I had as part of my intro for a little bit. There's a film called I think it's a great example of it. But John Wick with
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves. In that film, they have probably one of the best descriptions of a character I've seen, like character development, in the
Mm.
sense that John Wick is supposed to be, for those not familiar, John Wick is a character played by Keanu Reeves. He's like the super hyper assassination guy, right? And the way they describe, that he's a bad dude because how everyone else reacts around him. Like he never comes out and be like, I'm the worst dude ever. And
Right.
these people have offended me and I'm gonna come get them. It's the fact that you have this big head boss of this big criminal organization. And when he hears that his kid messed around with John Wick, he's like, oh my goodness, this guy's the boogeyman. He's the guy
Yeah.
that you send to kill the boogeyman. And it's the description that they use. I say all that to say this. When Robin is sitting around talking about how sexy Cody is and how he's yummy and how he's so masculine and how he's dashing and debonair and all these things,
Yeah.
that's her way of trying to build him up as a character so that he
Mhm.
doesn't have to do it for himself. I think
Mhm.
that's all it is. It's a crude production tactic
Mhm.
that doesn't work because it would have to come from somebody other than one of his sycophant um
Mhm.
co-conspirators, if you will.
Right.
It would have to come from, like, if they had a group of women who said, oh, that's sexy curly cute cowboy and the way he was riding that horse when I saw him on that horse, oh my goodness, took my breath away. That's what you would need in order for people to maybe
Mhm.
start biting the hook. But even then, like, people, like you said to earlier on, we've seen them for 19 seasons. If it didn't happen yet, it's not going to happen. Like if you don't have a group of women, like a fan base of women who think you super
Yes.
sexy, got your picture of posters up on their wall like a 16 or 17
Yeah.
magazine, it's not going to happen, player. It's just
Yeah.
not going to happen for you.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
when he had people from his high school being like, "Yeah, we thought he, wasn't playing
Yeah,
on this
yeah,
team."
yeah.
You know what I
He was
mean?
playing
Like,
on the other side. Yeah.
yeah. Like, come on, man. What are you trying to
The
do
people who
here?
knew him said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm surprised he got married." You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like it's like you're not
Yeah.
gonna be the heartthrob. Like it's
Yeah.
not in the cards.
Yeah. And even if she was trying to, right, if she's doing that, I think there's just such a more classy way to do it. Like it doesn't sit well, and they're trying to sell us something that's just, come on, like this was like rotten on the truck 5 days ago. What are you trying to sell to me here? This is garbage. Like,
Mm,
and and then you have the other side of the family, being so genuine, so vulnerable, and it's like, you're just not gonna come off well. So I get it's their livelihood, but you're not doing yourselves any favors by coming out here when you have, even Mary in such agony, and Sabin can't even pretend. You know,
right.
and Mary had been alienated from them for how many years? I don't know, any sort of redemption arc that they tried to go on has just cratered, and it's just ridiculous that if anyone really thinks and really is buying what they're trying to sell, because it's like all the evidence points in the other direction of what we've always thought. So
Right.
yeah, so I don't know. It was very painful. Very, these last 5 episodes were really tough, but thanks for giving us a community to kind of share with and be vulnerable with as well. It's really helped a lot of people. I think more than you know. So got to make sure we're giving you your flowers too, because a lot of people have been sharing in the chat about their own personal things, and a lot of us have come together. I know I was going through a tough time, and people came to my aid even off of this group. So it
Okay.
means a lot. So I think you may not realize what an impact you're making.
No, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And I'm glad it
So
was helpful, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, life, we all go through the ups and downs. I'm just glad I don't have a camera
Yeah.
in my face during it, right? Because
Yeah, who you telling? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That's
no,
why I'm not doing reality TV. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Yeah, turn that off. I'll be that guy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If he gonna be on the show.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. Cut. We're
Yeah.
done for the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially because in every episode they always have to have that one person to say that wild stuff to you, like say something like totally off the wall, and
Yeah.
it's something like, all right, guys, cut this. Like we cut the feeds because y'all not gonna get no case on me, Jack. Like I'm
Yeah.
not going to jail for y'all. I got bail money. Like nope. Take this mic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was thinking, because you were talking with people earlier about kids not expressing their emotions to their parents. And like, I don't know, I was having this thing with my daughter. She's 5. And, she was like, "You are being so mean to me. I hate you." And I was like, okay, that's fine. Maybe you might like me again in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
she's allowed to say what she wants and how she feels, and that's fine. Like, but I don't think those kids ever had that, in that
Right.
household where you can just like pop off and, you can say things, try not to be cruel about it, but kids can say things, and they're allowed to have feelings, and the feelings are allowed to change. That's one thing with these people. It's like if you've said one thing, you're never allowed to go back on it. And that whole thing that Garrison said to Robin, like, give us our dad back. It's like, okay, can you give him grace for maybe he was in a lot of pain that day? Like, it's like, no, he said it, and that's it's in stone now. It's like, people just say things. It's okay. Get over it.
Right. And
So,
people gonna feel how they feel. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that there's a point where, even beyond grace, it's just understanding that there's ebbs and flows.
yeah.
Like if I'm in a bad mood, like some people, and it is what it is. Like some people will take their bad day out on folks who have nothing to do with their bad day.
Mhm.
And that's not a commemorative thing. It's not just, it's not right, it's not fair.
Yeah.
But if we're all, I ask for grace because I recognize that I don't want to be judged by my worst day.
Yeah.
Because I'll never meet muster. Like
Yeah.
everybody has bad days. Everybody has a bad time. Everybody has those moments that you're not proud of.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be judged. I don't want people to look at me and judge me the entirety of my existence on my worst days.
Yeah.
Because then I'm a terrible,
Yeah.
like this dude ain't nothing. I don't want people to judge me on those days. So I want people to give me that grace and give me the freedom, or at least the ability to be able
Mhm.
to show you that there's more to me than the worst of my times. And
Right.
like you said, one of the I was trying to not to get too deep into Mr. Brown, but
Mhm.
one of the things that has always bothered me, because I suspected it at the time, but then it was confirmed by Janelle, that
Mm.
Big G had a problem with the spirits.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
had a elbow issue.
Mhm.
So that's what you used to call it back in the day, elbow issue. But when Cody was talking about it, he was like, he kept saying it, he kept repeating it. I'm not gonna have them come to my house and we act like a bunch of family alcoholics where we
Mhm.
just sweep it under. And he just kept throwing that out. And
Mhm.
I thought that it's directly hurtful if you
Mhm.
have somebody who is suffering with that affliction, for you to
Mhm.
turn around and keep bringing it up as an example in your little, this is why I'm not doing something. This is why I'm not reaching out to them.
Mhm. Yeah.
I thought that
Yeah.
that was extremely cruel. Like that's an
Yeah.
extremely cruel thing to do. Like if you
Yeah.
suffering from like issues with substances, like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna sit up here and act like we're a bunch of families of junkies. Like that's
Yeah.
not like what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like
Yeah. And that's the thing,
he
like with
needs help.
yeah, and okay, like we were talking about, give people grace, but it's like with Cody, there's no, like, how many times do we have to say, okay, maybe he didn't mean. It's like, no, you're constantly showing us that you don't care, that you are cruel. Even after he passed, Cody in an interview said, "Oh, I wish I could have sat down and had a beer with him." Like,
Mm,
if that's part of what the problem is, why are you sitting? Why are you saying anything like that? Just, I wish I
right.
could have sat and had a talk with him. It's we you give people grace to a certain extent, but once they keep repeating themselves and keep digging their own hole deeper, like, sorry, you're on your own, buddy. Like, I can't defend you. And that was like what, season 2 with Cody and
Mhm.
with Gold Baldy Locks. I like that's my favorite word for him, Baldy Locks. So, because in my mind gets a picture right of his hair and the bald
Yeah, yeah.
spots.
They should
So,
let that go. Just let it go for the next
yeah,
season.
yeah.
Surprise everybody.
Well, he could,
That'd
like,
also
how
be a sign of maturity.
that's right. Well, how he's saying he wants to escape to Europe? Like, go to Europe, get those male hair transplants. My neighbor got one. He looks great now. He has a full head of hair. So, go escape to Europe like you wanted to and get a hair transplant. Like,
Come back with some plugs.
yeah, yeah.
Get some hair
But
plugs.
but it means you have to shave and go bald until it grows back in, right? So that's like almost a year,
Right.
and he would die, but for that year. But afterwards, like it looks decent. So people tell me. So it can be done, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's just these unfair standards. All these people are held to in that family, other than the final the final family there, or whatever we can call them. It's like
Mm.
if any of Christine's kids or Janelle's kids said one thing wrong, it's like, oh, that's it, they're dead to me. But he says anything wrong, oh, I need a cloak of charity.
Right. Right.
Oh God. Anyways, I'm looking forward to your poly family reviews and commentary, because that's a hot mess. That's
Yeah, that show is terrible. It's not even terrible. It's what. In fairness about poly family, because I'm also watching. I'm going to do something about Mormon wives, Secret Lives of
oh
Mormon
yes,
Wives.
yeah,
But even with that, like, because that has a tie-in as well. But the one drawback that the poly family has, in my opinion, is that if they are, let's take it one way first, and we're gonna go back the other way. They are typical of what people in that lifestyle look like. It's made of normal looking folks, and these
Right.
are normal looking people.
yeah,
On the other side, if they were 20-something-year-olds who were
Mhm.
physically fit and attractive,
Mhm.
that show would have taken off. That
right,
show would have
right,
been huge. But
yeah,
I think it's just because they're normal looking folks. Like, it's
right,
not that they're bad looking. It's just that they look like how people look.
right,
When you have 5 kids, 9 times out of 10, you're not walking around with washerboard abs and
Mhm.
buns of steel and the barrel chest.
yeah,
Like, it's a lot of time in the gym, like to craft a body like that. And frankly, you don't have the time nor the money or
yeah,
income because you have too many responsibilities.
yeah,
So you look how you look, and I think that that's one of the things that draws it down. But
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of things that we can talk about from like even last week's poly family uh that I don't give too much away, but there's a lot of things that we could talk about, because I think there's a through line through all of these shows, like between
Mhm.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Sister Wives, 90 Day Fiance, with what they're trying to do. There are
Mhm.
things that are being talked about and issues that are being brought up, which create that through line that I think we can point to and say, like,
Ah,
this is how this works out. So yeah, I think I'm very excited about the video. I just want to craft it right
yeah,
so I can say it the way I want to say it. But yeah.
yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing that, because in so much of this, you just see how the communication is just shot from the jump, right?
Right.
But they pride themselves, like, even sister wives are like, talking about how they have to be open and honest and communicate. It's like, you guys never were,
Right.
and
Right.
I see that in the poly family too, where it's like there's all these like big strong emotions, but no one's talking about them. But, oh, I'm going to go gossip behind your back with this one, and
Right.
I mean, it's the human nature to gossip, but when you have cameras catching you gossip, you got to be a bit more careful. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. You
So
got to be honest with yourself before you can be honest with anybody else. And a lot of times the people aren't being honest with themselves.
yeah,
What you can handle, what you can't handle, what bothers you, what doesn't bother you. If you can't be honest with yourself, then all that stuff is doomed to fail. Like,
yeah,
I mean, technically, you can't do a monogamous relationship if you're not honest with yourself. Like, it doesn't have to be like the complexities of a plural
yeah,
relationship. You can't
yeah,
do a friendship if you're not honest with yourself.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you ever seen this comedian Alonzo Bowden, but he was on
Yeah.
a comic search show, and he would talk
Mhm.
about how the producers would come to each of the comics and be like, "Oh, did you hear that Nikki said she's funnier than you?" And Alonzo would be like, "Yeah, yeah, she's probably right." But like the producers would come and try to stir stuff, and get them to take the bait kind of thing. And I
Right.
mean, that's just going to happen with any of these shows where you have someone saying something about you behind your back, and then you see it like 5 months down the road. You're like, you said
Mhm.
what about me? And they're like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
even remember, because that vault that you think you have of secrecy, of just like letting off some steam about someone, isn't such a vault when you're on TV. And that's going to cause all sorts of problems, right? So, and
Right.
that
Right.
that's not without that interference from the producers like Alonzo had. So anyways, it's interesting. So thanks for taking my call and for letting me chat about this, that, and the other.
No, no worries. No worries. Thanks for calling in. Thanks
Yeah,
for
yeah.
calling in.
I'll be back.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye. Awesomeness. Awesomeness. Um, we have some super chats that came in. We have unlimited lipstick, 6.99 super chat. A James quote that works perfectly for Robin calling Cody yummy on the horse. Don't be a weirdo. 100%. 100%. Don't be a weirdo. You know what? And I can handle like, oh, okay, I saw my husband and he was looking good, blah, blah, blah. I can handle that. But yeah, you don't have to be extra with it. Like clearly you like him, he likes you. It's good enough for me. The only time it gets a little weird is when she doth protest too much. When you start like laying it on real thick, that's when I start. Maybe there's a little trouble in paradise because you talking about. She said the first time I saw him on a horse, he was looking yummy. You mean like what? That was almost 15 years ago? Really? I don't know. But let me get a little something, unlimited lipstick. And then we have Teresa Skinner, 1999 super sticker. You are amazing. No, Teresa, you are amazing. Teresa Skinner in the house. I don't know. Teresa's low-key deep. Like I've talked to Teresa before, and Teresa's deep. Don't sleep on Teresa. But thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. Awesome. I want to thank, before we go, I want to make sure I thank everybody who called in. I appreciate you guys cutting a little short tonight because I was trying to stay closer to 2 hours. Blew it a little bit, blew the Overton window a little bit, but it is what it is. But I want to thank you guys for calling and participating, making such good, strong points. Let me give a huge shout out to That's My Shoe, Kathy Ferran, Unlimited Lipstick, what? Jennifer Devine, Victoria Perry, Lizzie B gifted a membership tonight. Thank you so much, Lizzie B. Raiders Ma, and Teresa Skinner up in the house. Thank you guys so much for that. I also want to make sure I thank everybody in the chat for keeping it super cool. I know we had some folks in earlier that were kind of stirring the pot a little bit. It is what it is. I appreciate the dialogue, the discourse. I don't even the disagreements, as long as we're not being disagreeable and we aren't attacking each other. Like we could talk about the issues, we could talk about the show, and we can debate those issues as long as we aren't attacking each other. I'm cool with it. And with that, I also want to make sure I thank my guests of honor, the mega mods, Lizzie B, holding it down, OG Lizzie B, as well as Brittany. Now, Brittany started playing Caramel Cuties coming in through in the clutch. Holla at your boy. All right, thank you guys so much. And I want to thank everybody who's been in the chat. Like I said, keeping it super cool in the chat. And I appreciate you guys supporting each other. Let's put some hearts in the chat one more time, not only for Garrison, not only for the family, for people, as mentioned earlier, who come into the chat and have shared their stories and have talked about their family, their relationships, losing their loved ones, and how they dealt with their grief. I think that that's so important because it's not just, like I said, it's not just about the Brown family or the Sister Wife show, but how we can help each other navigate this thing called life. So I think that that's a big thing for us to be here and supporting one another and being strong advocates. I've had more than one person, whether it's Negla, Betty, Lizzie B, all kinds of people coming through saying, look, if you ever hit a rough spot, reach out and talk to somebody. We've had people come in, offer hotline numbers. If you need somebody to talk to, I encourage you to reach out. If you need to hit me up, mytakeonrealityquestions@gmail.com, plus the speak pipe right here where you can leave a message, whatever you want to do. But make sure you talk to who you need to talk to. And at the end of the day, folks, it comes down to this. I can't solve your problems. I can't make your issues go away, right? And as somebody mentioned before, you taking yourself out of the equation doesn't eliminate the problem, okay? If anything, you're taking those issues, those troubles, those problems, and putting it on somebody else. 1, 2, the only thing that I hope is that you give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance for things to turn around. Give yourself a chance to see another day, and you'll be surprised that how resilient we are, and 2, given a chance and opportunity, how quickly things can turn around. Like, it could be dog shit today, and it could be coming up daisies tomorrow, but you have to give yourself a chance to make it to tomorrow so that you can see those brighter days, so you can see those opportunities, so you can see those better times. It's easy when you're lost in a storm to think that this is all there is and this is all there ever will be. But I'm telling you, from a person who's known people who've been in a storm, a person who's been in a storm, a person who's talked to people who's been in these situations, when you're in it, you feel like there's no way out. And there's only one choice. But I'm telling you that this too shall pass. And you will find yourself in a better place, but you have to give yourself an opportunity to be able to experience that better time. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, listening to me prattle on. I know it's like, you talk too damn much. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys, again, supporting one another. I certainly appreciate you supporting the channel and keeping, helping to keep the lights on, coming in, spending your time watching videos and that, coming in, commenting and things of that nature. I genuinely do appreciate that. And I'm really awestruck and gobsmacked by the fact that you guys are so willing to support one another. That's what the purpose of the channel is for. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. I hope you find happiness. And I hope I see you next time when I drop my video, whether it's in the chat, the comments, or on the live, calling in, or leaving a message on SpeakPipe, whatever you guys want to do. Try to make it easy for you. All right. Thank you guys so much. I've been rhyming all night. Got the bug, boy. Be rapping with 50 Cent and Eminem tomorrow, but we'll see. But until then, thank you guys so much for hanging out. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. Have a good night, guys. I am not. I'm still in. You see that? Oh, here we go. I'm out. This time I'm serious. If not, still didn't work, but we're going to do it the old fashioned way. And this time I am out for real. This is what real TV looks like, guys. Have a good
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Go for a ride down the side.